Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, however you want to live your life. It's Coach Baird coming to you live from the Baird Cave. You're listening to the Baird Necessities. This is episode number 21. Thank you to Chris Crawford last week for joining me in the Baird Cave. I could have talked to him for much longer than I did. I know it was over about 2 hours, so wow, I know it was a long one. Thank you to all who have listened to my past episodes. If you haven't yet, you can catch up on your own time. You can find me on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean. I do have my own YouTube channel too. That's right. Check out the Baird Necessities on YouTube. Please follow me on Twitter at the Baird NEC or send me an email at thebairdnec@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Huge news. My boy Luke Scholes, he decided to take his academic and athletic skills to Central Michigan University. Go Chips. He actually called me today to let me know, and I'm very impressed that he actually did that. He thanked me for all the help I gave him, and I really honestly didn't expect that. I don't really think I did much, but hey, why not? What a great dude. Needless to say, I hope we get to see Luke in the Baird Cave here shortly. Plug. Next guest is a close personal friend of mine. He's actually live in studio with me. He was in my wedding. That's how close he was. He graduated from Delton Kellogg a few years back, a couple years after me, actually. He married a friend of mine. That's kind of how we met. It's a funny story there about that. I'll tell that one too. He currently is coaching high school basketball in Houston, Texas. Yeah, they do make it bigger in Texas, if you know what I mean. This guy also still has his own active MySpace account. Yes, check it out. Joining me in the Baird Cave this week, in person, Jud Stephens. All right, Jud is the son of Daryl and Chris. You also have a sister that's my birthday buddy. What's her name again?
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Is she obviously a ginger like you are?
Her and all her children.
Where did that come from?
My dad and my mother both are gingers, but other than that, I really don't know. My grandfather was not a ginger, neither was my grandmother on either side, so I don't know.
Right. It just came out of nowhere?
It's just, it's so rare that it's hard to tell where anything comes from.
Right. Okay, so you said you have her children are gingers as well.
Mm-hmm. She has 3 of them, 2 boys and a girl, and they are all super pale redheads.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So how many nieces and nephews do you have total then?
Just my sister has 3 children. That's it. My wife has a niece and a nephew as well. So I guess my sister-in-law has 2, and my sister has 3, so that's 5.
I'm making you do some math here. I apologize.
On a Saturday, I know.
Right. Yeah, so I apologize for that. Okay. So what was it like growing up?
I grew up I went to school in Kalamazoo until 2nd grade. We just grew up in a small neighborhood and spent a lot of time just cruising around the neighborhood, causing trouble. And then 3rd grade, I moved out to Gull Lake, where Richland Roller Arena used to be, and we didn't live on the lake. We kind of lived out in the middle of nowhere, so we didn't have anybody to play with, really. So I spent a lot of time in the woods on my bicycle, building BMX tracks and jumps and getting in as much trouble as I could back there in the woods. And then my freshman year, I moved to Delton, which if you're from the Gull Lake and Delton area, you know that you hate each other when you move, or even you go there. So then I found I was going to Delton. I was super mad at my parents. Didn't pack anything, so they decided to pack all my stuff in trash bags for me, which was better than you could expect, I guess.
Right.
And then I went all the way through high school in Delton, which was actually, looking back on it, about my senior year, I realized it was probably a good move to be in Delton instead of Gull Lake. I was able to make sports teams, and the school was a little smaller and a little more accessible to things.
Yeah, looking back, I think had I gone to Gull Lake instead of Delton Kellogg, I don't think I'd played baseball or even been close to playing basketball.
Yeah, I tried out for the 7th grade team at Gull Lake, and I made the B team. Then I tried out for the 8th grade team, and I got cut. So I played, they had something called Gleba, which is like little kids basketball. And I was pretty good there, but not good enough to make the team, I guess. And then I moved to Delton, and I made all the teams. But I never had a problem in baseball. I would have made the baseball team at Gull Lake, but I probably wouldn't have made it on the varsity team as a sophomore like I did at Delton.
Nice. Okay. We'll talk about that more along. So what made you guys go from Gull Lake to Delton?
We were renting my grandparents' house where the Richland Roller Rink was, and my dad wanted to move to Delton and buy a house, so we found a house on a lake. It was a nice lake. We just decided it was time to own his house, I guess. I don't know.
Right. How was adjusting to the change?
It was high school, so it's a natural change you're going to make in school anyway. You're going from 8th grade to a 9th grade, so you're going to a new school building. And I think at Gull Lake, they took the W.K. Kellogg kids and the Gull Lake kids and stuck them in the same high school, so there was going to be a bunch of new kids anyway. So moving to Delton it was weird, but it was a bunch of new kids I was going to meet anyway, so it worked out just fine. and it took me a while, but I found my place, I guess you could say.
There you go. You found your niche, as they say.
Yeah.
Niche?
My niche, yeah.
Niche? Your nieces? All right. Anyways, boo. I got a lot of horrible jokes. It's weird.
Boo.
I'm glad to have you
Dad jokes.
Dad jokes. I did a whole, I was supposed to do Father's Day on the air, and there was some mix up in the schedule. I had everything all planned out, and I had so many dad jokes ready to go.
Epic.
I showed up, and the person that was there is like, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I thought you were on vacation." She's like, "No, I decided to show up." I'm like, "Thanks for telling me." And
they have no faith.
They have no faith. Right. So that'd have been my first time back live in forever. Mm. So going back. Okay. So moving forward, what kind of sports did you like as a kid?
I played basketball and baseball only. I wasn't. The coaches tried to get me to play football, but I was never really. I didn't enjoy football. I just didn't want to play it. My dad always told me when I was little that I couldn't play football because he didn't want to buy the pads. It was expensive, and we didn't have a lot of money. So he just stuck me with a basketball and a baseball glove, and told me to figure it out.
Nice. I understand. It was kind of expensive to buy all the pads. I remember starting Rocket football, having to buy the helmets, and my parents always bought the cheapest helmets. So instead of like the cool face masks, it had the two bars going across with one bar off.
You got the one kicker bar across your face.
Yes, it was very safe. I felt very comfortable in it. But
yeah,
I'm glad moving towards high school and middle school, we were able to get the nice helmets instead of the crappy ones.
And by the time I got to Delton, the coaches didn't contact me at all over the summer because I was new and they didn't know who I was. And then my sophomore summer, they contacted me a couple times, but I had no experience and it was nothing I wanted to do. And at that point, I had a job, so I worked all summer and didn't want anybody. I liked making money and saving money and doing what I was going to do with it. Whatever a 16-year-old sophomore does with their money. But I didn't want to play football because I knew it would cut into having a job. Yeah, that definitely cuts into having a job. And of course, was summer league baseball really big back when you were in there? Yeah, I played for the Maroons in Kalamazoo my 7th and 8th grade summers, and we were a pretty good team then. Then I moved to Delton, and I played just on the Delton Summer League team. And we traveled a long way, actually. Went to Lakeview, Lakewood, did some stuff in Hastings, and a couple games in Penfield, I believe. But it was just basically the teams that we were going to play in the season. We just played them over the summer as well. A couple games in Galesburg, I believe. What positions did you play? In the Summer League, I kind of played catcher because our I guess you'd call him our starting catcher that was started all the way through high school with us was in the Dominican playing some stuff. He won some stuff for his dad, paid for some camps down there in Dominican, so he played every summer down there until he was a senior. So they needed somebody to catch in the summer, so that's what I did. But during the regular high school season, I was a pitcher and third base and a first baseman. I got called up. Listen to me. I got
made the big leagues.
Yeah, right. I got asked to play varsity as a sophomore just to play first base, and
nice.
Then as my junior year, then the coach thought I could throw a little bit, so he put me at pitcher. And then so by my senior year, I didn't play much first base anymore because I could throw across the diamond as well, so I played third and pitcher mostly. Yeah, I did not have the arm to play anywhere but first base. Yeah. If I could DH, I probably would have done that too. But that's the best position is DH. Well, back in the day, like when I played, they didn't use the DH like they did, like we do now. I mean, yeah, we use it all the time in our high school too. If the pitcher, I don't know, there's a lot of one-way players, and in Texas, the pitchers barely ever hit, and they're always the kid that's DHing for somebody. Right. Yeah. So I think realistically, I was a better first baseman, but offensively, I wasn't as good as who they put in. So had they been smart about it, I think if they would have DH'd him for me, I think we probably might have won maybe one or two more games than that. But I don't know. Yeah. Hey, and Delton, that could be double your wins. It is. It's funny because it's the mentality. I had 4 different head coaches going through, starting from freshman all the way up to my senior year. That's tough to build a program and tradition when you keep bouncing coaches like that. I had the same coach all 3 years I was at varsity. Now, my freshman year, the varsity coach wasn't the same as he was when I got there as a sophomore, but we had the same coach all 3 years I was at varsity. Who was your coach? It was one of the kids' dads on the team, Coach Sharon, and then we also had Coach West. He was like the pitching coach and the assistant coach because he had other coaching duties at Calvin College. Okay, so he was the one that was kind of up there, and Yeah, Coach Sharon was the one. He was the name, or he was the coach the coach by name, where he did all the scheduling and was at every practice. Coach West would be at occasional practices.
It's nice, like you said, having stability, and I think that's one of the things that Gull Lake is good at is we have stability. I mean, granted, our coach just retired and, kind of made it into the Hall of Fame, but taking over for him was someone who's been in the program almost 20 years. So
right, Reggie came up through the program, and he knows what he's going to carry on the same tradition and roles that it was Coach Blakely, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, he'll do this. That's what you want when you retire as a coach, is somebody to come in and kind of mirror what you were doing.
Right. Not anything I was doing. Although I think I had a pretty successful freshman program, but
I was a baseball coach for a while, and we were not a school of baseball, so I was not successful.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. I have a little chronological order that we keep things going. So, and of course, if you mess up or say anything that you want to redo, just let me know.
Okay.
Let me know, because we can edit the crap out of this.
Okay.
That's the best part about doing.
You can say whatever you want.
You can say whatever you want. I had to actually one time bleep out somebody. One time. It was weird because I'm listed as like kid friendly.
Oh, so we can't swear.
No swearing. FYI, just heads up. Anyways, so okay, what was your favorite sport?
Baseball.
Okay.
For sure. I mean, it was more of I don't know. I'm a basketball coach now, and my kids, I want them to think about basketball as they're playing it, and they don't really understand what it is to think about the sport as you're playing it. And, baseball, it's so easy to think about why you're playing it because it just moves so much slower than any other sport, really, other than golf, I think. So, you're sitting there and you know the position. If you're playing a first base position, you know what you're going to do every time. There's a guy on second base, you know what's going to happen when the ball gets hit to you or if it gets hit to the third baseman. You just kind of know all these positions or these situations. And, basketball happens so much faster. So I was more of a baseball guy in high school. I wasn't a brainiac, but I just enjoyed being able to to know what was going to happen and know what to do if something else happened.
Right, definitely. It's a slow pace.
Yeah, it is a slow-moving sport.
Yeah, very slow pace is what I was trying to say. Yeah, before I did it. That's the best part.
Yeah.
Anyways, so slow-paced, obviously basketball, high up-tempo.
Well, it's supposed to be. Now, if you played at Delton, it wasn't, but it was supposed to be high-paced.
Who was your coach at Delton for basketball?
Jim Hogaboom.
Okay.
And Mike Mon was the assistant there for a little bit. My junior and senior year, he came in and worked with the big guys because I believe he just got off of some stints with trying out with the Pistons and some stuff overseas, I believe is what he was doing before that.
Is that what he was telling everybody?
Yeah, and he kind of made me realize what it is to be a pro athlete, and if you either got it or you don't. He would come to practice, and we see him. We're 16, 17, 18 years old. We're in pretty good shape, and we can run all day long, and then this man that looks like he's about 50 comes in and just embarrasses you over and over and over, and you realize, I don't really have what I think I should have, and he was just unguardable, and he wasn't even good in the whole sports world. Nobody even knew who he was, and he just was embarrassing us.
Right. I know the feeling. We have a lot of athletes at Gull Lake that when I played pickup basketball against, you didn't see. There's this one guy by the name of Mr. Anderson. I don't know if you ever remember him.
Jim, he was my social studies teacher in 8th grade.
Yes, I hated guarding him because you give him any wide open shot, he's going to bury it.
Mm-hmm. He was the girls' coach there for a long time.
Yep. So I think he still helps out every once in a while, but I can't remember exactly what his role is right now. I see him in the hallways every once in a while. So playing basketball and baseball. What sport were you better at?
I was much better at baseball. By the time I freshman basketball and sophomore basketball or JV basketball, I was a starter and I was one of the main pillars on the team. And then my junior year of basketball, I played every game probably, but I didn't play a lot as much as I was before, and I was getting kind of irritated at the coach. And at that point, my junior year of high school, I was in my second year of varsity baseball, and I thought about going to my senior year about not playing basketball at all. I talked over with the coach and my parents, and they kind of said you should play basketball to get you in shape for baseball, because it worked all football season. I had to make money to pay some stuff, I had a car I had to make payments on, and so I played basketball just to get in shape for baseball. It probably wasn't the best outlook on my basketball season because I just kind of didn't go 100% on the drills and kind of just expected not to play. And that's what I got out of it, was I didn't get much playing time my senior year when I probably should have started, but due to my own actions, I just didn't. I just was kind of lazy and probably not a very coachable player.
it's funny how things like that happen. As far as football goes, I look at between my sophomore and my junior year of football, going from JV to the varsity, I didn't work out very much that year, and it showed. Yep. I expected just to show up on show up on varsity, ready to go and take and it was atrocious.
Yep. And it's a hard adjustment to make if you're playing a bunch as a freshman and sophomore, and then you go up to varsity, you're like, all right, here we go, the next step, and then you get blown by kids who were not as good as you in your own mind, and, well, it's humbling.
Yep. So, all right, so going into your senior year, any fond memories that you can remember as either sports?
Into my senior year, well, basketball Delton wasn't very good at basketball. My junior year, we won 2 games. I think we were 2-21 my junior year, so we were really, really bad. We played hard, but we were just not a very good team. But we had a really good fan section, so it was fun to see the fans every game. They'd travel the hour to like Paw Paw or Matawan at like an hour drive in the winter, which is the worst drive ever. But they would travel down there. They would cheer us on all season. Didn't matter if we were going to lose. Then baseball, we didn't. Baseball you have no fans at, which is typical of a high school baseball game. But probably my best memories are in baseball. The guys the same 9 played all the way through freshman year to senior year, and it was just a good group of guys. We had a lot of fun together.
Was John Garcia on that team?
He was. He was the first baseman. He played JV as a junior, and then I believe, because it was his first year of baseball, then his senior year he came up to play first baseman, and I was the third baseman.
So you guys had those Delton Kellogg maroon jackets. Do you remember those?
Yes, I do.
So we had those my junior year and senior year, and then we got them brand new. So whoever got number 16 was fitted for me.
Was fitted for your jacket?
Yes. So the uniforms didn't fit, but by golly, I had my own jacket that fit me. All right. Now, were you recruited anywhere?
No. Well, our second coach, Coach West, was the pitching coach, Calvin, and he worked with me and a couple other pitchers all fall of our senior year. And he told me at that point, if you score, I think it was a 26 or 27 on the ACT and have a good season, we can get you some looks to go to Calvin. And unfortunately, since I had screwed off most of my high school years, I did not even accomplish the score required that he said I would have to get recruited by them. And that was really the only recruitment I had. And then I just didn't pursue anything else after that. I just went to KCC and just moved on from there.
Gotcha. To get into Adrian, I needed to get a 17 on the ACT. Mm-hmm. I got a 17.
Perfect.
And but that was the only place I ever got recruited for was a Division III. So
football,
yes, yep. But again, who knows if I would have had a better junior year if things would have popped up a little bit better. But hindsight's 20/20. So you graduate. You got any fond memories from high school? Well,
my favorite memory was probably my game against Gull Lake, my senior season of baseball. Let's see, they were ranked in the state top 3 or 4, I believe, and we were just a little Delton school. There was nobody that was worth a darn on our team. And I was from Gull Lake, so all the kids on the team knew me. We played Little League together and all the way through 8th grade. Actually, going to 9th grade, we played together for a long time.
Can you name drop any of them?
Ethan Williams, one of the Walters boys. I can't remember which one he is.
Brian?
Yeah, he was around. He was there.
Okay.
So our senior season, we're playing Gull Lake at Delton.
Okay.
So they come to our little tiny school. They get off the bus. I'm sure they're just thinking they're going to kill us. We're thinking they're going to kill us. So they pitched this, probably their number 4, number 5 starter. He wasn't very good. His name was Mitch. I can't remember what his last name was, but I remember playing with him in Little League and thinking we're going to rock this guy because he's not very fast. He doesn't have any curveball. He has nothing. So I come up, my first at bat of the game, I hit a single or something stupid. And then my second at bat, I hit a double. And then my third at bat, I come up and they intentionally walk me because somebody was on second and third. So they intentionally walked me, and then they ended up getting a third out. It was over. So my last at bat, I came up. My second to last at bat, I came up. Bases are loaded. They can't walk me, and I hit a grand slam on them.
Oh wow!
I hit it. I hit the softball, the softball dugout at Delton, which is 375, which is a big deal for a Delton high school kid.
No kidding.
I cranked that ball. And, they couldn't walk me. It was exciting to see all their faces, and they were pissed. And they were, anyway. So that gave us the lead. And then they ended up, and I was pitching this game as well. And I was doing pretty good pitching. And then I got, my arm was starting to get sore. So I asked Coach to take me out, which I never did, but I didn't want them to beat me either. So I took myself out. We were up 2 or whatever. The kid they sent in brought it, let them score 2 runs. So it was tied. I come up my last at bat in the game, and I got a run on third. And Coach says, and we're the home team, so we're last at bats, bottom of the 7th inning, and coach says you're going to let one pitch go by, swing or not, it's up to you. But the second pitch, you're bunting it. We're going to squeeze you.
Nice.
And they couldn't walk me. And it was, I'm sorry, there was somebody on, the bases were loaded again. I'm sorry, not the bases weren't empty.
Right.
So the coach says, swing or not, it's your choice. But the second pitch, if you get there, you are going to bunt it. Now we'll tell you on third the same thing. And so I remember it was JT Sharon on third base. And we had this little signal. If you knew you were supposed to squeeze, you would you'd adjust your nuts. Pretty much what you did. So I looked at JT and did my thing, and he did it back to me. So he knew I was going to do it on the second pitch. Let the first pitch go by, which was a perfect inside belt high pitch. I just wanted to crank, but I was going for the sure thing, which was a suicide squeeze. The second pitch, and Ethan Williams threw it. And he was a hard thrower. Threw it right down the middle, and I just dropped a perfect bunt. JT scores. The game's over. It was my most favorite memory from sports I ever had. It was a lot of fun.
Wow. Yeah, I talked to Blakely about that, and he said, it was their 7th or 8th pitcher.
Yeah, he was not good. I was surprised he was on the baseball team, really, honestly.
It happens like that. There's so many games now, you have to keep 6 to 7
I know.
better. So.
And they also pitched, who was Josh Steiger, which was Dan Steiger's little brother, which we all know who Dan Steiger is if you know anything about Gull Lake basketball.
Yes.
And baseball, I believe. But Josh Steiger was about 6'4", and a tall, hard-throwing lefty, and for some reason he threw him to, I think because we were in the lead and he didn't want us to win, so he threw Josh as well.
Nice.
It was a fun game. They came in and thought they were going to kill us, and we ended up, it was just so exciting.
What year was that?
2001.
Okay, I think they had a really long playoff run in that one, too.
I'm sure they did. They were pretty good. And they came to us. It was early season, but they were still ranked top 5, I believe, in the state. They just beat Lakeview or whoever's in Battle Creek, Lakeview. They just beat Lakeview, which was, I think, defending state champions or a real long playoff run before that season. So they were feeling pretty good about themselves, and they came to us, and we took care of that.
Right. So after high school, what was after high school for you?
Not much. I went to Kellogg Community College. Wasted a lot of time and money. Didn't do anything really except drink lots of beer and eat Taco Bell.
Right.
And that's pretty much. My health teacher was the baseball coach, so I talked to him about maybe trying out. And it was, I don't know, it rained or something on tryout day, so I was like, I'm not going to have tryouts. And they ended up having tryouts anyway inside, which I didn't know schools did.
Right.
So I missed the tryouts, and I just kind of said forget it, and I wasn't too concerned about it because I was too worried about other things, and I just never played any more, I guess you could say, for a school after that.
Okay. So you finish up KCC.
I didn't finish. I quit KCC.
You quit. Okay. Okay. So you quit KCC and you move up to Grand Rapids, or what was your next step?
I moved to Wayland. I got a job and realized I could make some money, so I moved to Wayland. I get a job and I realized that making money is more fun than going to college, so I just focused on working and making money. Had a full-time job and a roommate, and went out, just made more money than I thought I would I was 20 then, so I moved out when I was 20. Made money and just kind of didn't do anything except that for 2 years, I think. Just got fat and made money.
I know the thing.
But it wasn't much money.
Right.
But it felt like a lot of money to me at 19 and 20 years old.
It's funny that you think of that right now. The instant gratification that we all have as a society, the first thing you do is, hey, you have this money in front of you. Instant gratification with society and how crazy it is. They show you all this money, and factory life money is okay. Yep. I'm sure your money was okay.
Yeah.
It definitely enticed me enough to, grab the carrot and just keep going along that, wasting opportunities left and right. Going back, I do see that you went on back to school, which is a great thing. But before then, do you think someone kind of pushed you into going back to school, or? I
mean, a little bit. My family was kind of like asking me what I was doing. None of them went to college. My dad went to a little bit of college. My mom went to no college. So they weren't really pushing me to go to college, but I just I was slowly plugging along at college while I had the job. Now the job made it hard for me to go to college because I was delivering home medical equipment, oxygen, and hospital beds and things, but I was on call a lot, so it was hard to sit in a class and hope you don't get a call, because if you get a call, you had to leave class, and that was kind of how I justified not going to school. As well, my job won't let me go, so I was able to do like early morning classes 2 days a week, but I was doing those for 3 semesters in a row, and I only took 3 classes, so it really was a waste of my time to do it in that way, because it would take me, I would still be going to community college today if that was how I was planning on finishing out.
Right. Now you can do it online.
Yeah, it's really easy now, I guess, if that's the way you learn. I've taken some online. I hated it. I'm not an online learner.
It's definitely difficult. It's got to be the right thing for me, and I've been lucky. My sports management all my sports management classes have been pretty easy. But as far as my statistics and all my algebra, that was rough because it was definitely a different type of learning.
I need to hear it, and then I'll listen to a lecture, and I'll take the notes that are important to me, and then I'll read the book, and then I'll go back and look at the notes again. I like to be lectured a little bit, so I like to hear things and not just be told, read these pages and then take a test. It's really hard for me to learn that way. And I'm not motivated enough to do it that way either, really.
Yeah, I'm pretty lazy, so but it allows me to keep a full-time job, keep my crazy daughter going on car rides now, which is her big thing right now. But anyways, I got to ask you, when did you meet Amber?
Well, we went to high school together, and I was 2 years younger than her. So I worked for her parents at Sajo's Pizza for, 8, 9, 10 years. I can't remember how long it was, but it was forever. I moved to Delton. There was a Sajo's Pizza in Richland that I lived across the street from, so I was familiar with her dad, Joe. I would go there, and I'd walk across the street and get a pizza, and then he would sometimes take me home in the winter because I lived right across the street. It was no big deal. So he was friends with the family for a long time, and then we moved to Delton. I was old enough to work, and my dad said, well, go see if Joe will hire you. So he gave me a job at Delton Sajo's, washing dishes and making pizza dough. And then Amber walked in one day, and I was like, oh, she's cool, whatever. We'll go to high school, and I see her in the high school building, but, she was a junior, and I was a freshman, and there was no way she would want to even talk to me, so there was no communication back and forth. And then as I aged and through high school and going to Sajo's, we just kind of became friends, and we were friends for about, 6, 7, 8 years before we finally decided to start dating, and then now we're still married today.
Right. I should have said, how did you meet your wife? But then there we go.
I've worked that into the conversation.
There we go. Thank you. You're a better interviewer than I am.
Yeah, right.
So, okay, you're at Sajo's, which I'm kind of disappointed that you did not bring any Sajo's with you today.
Well, I thought about it, but they asked me to work tonight, and then they said they could get somebody else to work. So I thought I shouldn't go in and ask for a free pizza if I wasn't going to say, if I said I had stuff to do. I didn't want to go in there and ask them for a slice of pepperoni.
Best pizza around.
It really is.
Very nice. So, okay, you meet, and, okay, you're dating. How long did you date before you guys, before you popped the question?
Well, let's see. We started dating when I was 22. I can't tell you what year that is. I don't 2000. So we got married in 2006. So we started dating in 2003. But when we started dating, it was October or maybe even September of 2003, I'm guessing. And she was just finished high school. College. She was finishing college in December. She was graduating, and she had already taken a job teaching in Yuma.
Okay, that's Arizona, right?
Yep, Yuma, Arizona. So we kind of just decided, we'll kind of hang out, we'll be friends, and she'll go to Arizona, and then I'll move on with my life here in Michigan and continue my job or whatever. And then she moved away, and we felt, we kept calling each other and talking to each other, and then I went down there and saw her a couple times. She came home at spring break and saw me, and we decided, maybe we'll just make something out of this and more serious than what we had planned. And so I told her, she was down in Yuma she took over a classroom in January, a 7th grade classroom at Yuma, Castle Dome Middle School. She took it over, and she liked it, but teachers in Arizona make less than, it's McDonald's employees. They make no money in Arizona. They start at like $20,000 a year. It's really bad. And she was struggling, and I didn't want to leave my job. I was making more money than that. And she, I kind of told her, you come home to Michigan, you come back home, and I'll probably ask you to marry me. And so she came home. And then, she came home in, I think, June, and we started dating a little. We were serious at that point. We didn't live together before we were married, but I asked her to marry me sometime in February of 2006, I believe it was. And then we got married in June of 2006.
Okay.
July 8th, 2006.
There you go. I'll edit that part out.
Yeah.
Make sure you know. I think I still remember that whole ending. But anyways, we'll talk about that because that was an epic wedding. Because
it was the best.
I've got a lot of great stories I want to talk to you about just personally. Okay, so how did you propose?
Well, we played a lot of board games even before we were dating. We had the same friend group that we all kind of worked at Sajo's together, and we all just after Sajo's would close, I had the keys. I was a manager, and she had the keys because she was their daughter. So we just kind of had all the employees would stay after and play lots of board games. We stayed up way too long playing board games there, so many nights. But then, one night after we were dating for a long while, it was just me and her playing Scrabble. And, I usually beat her at Scrabble every time we play. It's ridiculous how bad I beat her. And she's an English teacher, and she doesn't want to know that. But she doesn't want people to know that, but I beat her handily at Scrabble most times.
You're tough talking your wife right now?
I am. That's the only time I get the tough talker.
There you go. Yes, this is true.
So we're playing Scrabble, and, I had the ring for probably 2 or 3 weeks before I got a chance to play Scrabble with her, because I was going to put the ring in the Scrabble bag of letters and wait for her to draw out the ring, and she would, hopefully have a small heart attack and then marry me. And it kind of worked out that way. We were playing, and she was killing me. It was like embarrassing how bad she was beating me in this game. And she kind of knew something was weird, because we were playing at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we had stuff to do in the morning. And I was like, let's just go play Scrabble. Let's go over, sit at Sajo's and play. So eventually, like, I don't know, 3:15 or something in the morning at Sajo's Pizza, she pulled out this ring that was in the bag of letters. And that's what I did right there.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Pop down to one knee.
Oh, sure. Stereotypical stuff. Pop down to one knee, tell her that I liked her a whole lot and that we should probably get married.
Now, did you ask Joe and Sandy before you did this?
I did not, but I mean, kind of in a way I did, but I knew he would approve of it either way, so it was fine.
Right.
I worked with them, like I said, for 8 to 9 years at this point. We had gone golfing a bunch. We hung out a lot, so it wasn't like some guy I had not known at all. Like, I was friends with him already.
Okay, moving forward, how long were you guys engaged for when I met you at Fleecer's wedding?
Oh, gosh. When was Fleecer's wedding? Do you remember?
No idea.
We might not have been engaged yet. We weren't engaged very long. We were only engaged, I think it was like 7 months of engaged.
Okay.
Maybe 6 months before we got married, I think. So I don't remember when the Fleecers got married.
To me, I thought you guys were engaged, but then it makes sense now, because I've got a whole story about Fleece's wedding.
I'm bad at timelines, and I mean, I know the end result, but I can't remember if we were engaged for a year and a half or for just half a year.
Right. Okay. So we come in, and of course, you guys. Let me preface this. Mm-hmm. I get invited to Fleecer's wedding, mm-hmm. and I bring an and one.
I hung out with him, by the way, yesterday.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so I get invited, and I bring Ryan. And I think he might have gotten invited too, because
plus one.
My plus one. Ryan was always my plus one, and I've got made fun of.
Didn't need to send you 2 invites. No. You and Ryan just because sent you one.
Yep, exactly. So we show up, and I'm not even going to mention the outfit that I was wearing because it was god awful.
I don't remember the outfit.
It was like a lilac purple shirt. And
there you go. I got you to mention it anyway, didn't I?
Yep, flip flops. Yeah, there you go. And it was pretty bad. Anyways, so we get there, we sit down, and there was nobody at the table. And then Amber shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I'm going to sit with you guys, because she didn't really...
We didn't know anybody there.
Yeah, right. So you weren't with us then. You weren't in the picture at all.
I knew who you were because you were like one of the big kids when I was a freshman, I believe. You were like one of the big kids I didn't dare talk to.
What? No.
Yeah.
No way.
I think, what year did you graduate?
98.
Yep. I was a freshman, you were a senior, and you were just one of those kids I didn't want to talk to.
Really?
Because you were huge, and I was, a little freshman from nowhere.
I was a dork.
Yeah, so was I, but that's how it works. That's high school.
Right? So even for Delton's, wow. Anyways, moving forward. So you weren't at the table, and I'm sitting there talking to Ryan, talking
mm-hmm.
to Amber,
mm-hmm.
and then I'm in my head, and I don't know if I should really share this, and I don't know if anybody really knew this was going on. I'm like, hey, Amber's here. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah, yeah.
And it got shot down quickly.
Because here I came.
There's Jud.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, for like a second, but I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And we ended up, we went to, what's the dock now or whatever it was?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever that establishment is over on Gull Lake.
Bayview. It was Bayview. Yep.
Went to Bayview, and
yep.
that's where our bromance started.
Well, and I only knew Ryan from summer baseball of his, he was going into his senior year, so we played summer ball together. I'd bum rides off of his dad and him. His dad was my gym teacher at Gull Lake.
You have a funny story about him too, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
About Carl?
And I say it all the time now as I'm coaching. I say his saying often, and it cracks me up. And the kids just look at me like I'm really stupid, but that's okay. So I would get rides from Ryan and his dad to go to baseball games. And I sat at the table, and I only knew Ryan and, of course, Amber, but I was like, I knew your face, I knew your name, but I didn't know you really at all.
Right. And by that time, you had already selected your groomsmen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you guys have already been engaged then. So that's what made me think, because, I mean, realistically, come on. After the bromance started.
Yeah, it really should have. We were just talking about that yesterday, actually, or maybe a couple of days ago. We were talking about it to somebody else, and we said, it's weird who you have in your wedding because you don't even talk to. I think I had 4 groomsmen. I talked to none of them now.
Right.
It's just weird how that works out.
I've been in a couple where I haven't talked to them at all.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have even been in one. I don't know how I got involved in it, but yeah,
mm-hmm.
Either way. So, okay, let's talk about the wedding. The wedding was at what was the church?
Oh, I'm sorry, Yorkville Church.
Yorkville Church.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice ceremony.
Yeah. No AC, so it was hot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was hot.
Okay, so and then we go on the reception.
Yep, at Doster Golf Course.
That was. Oh, like I said, it was a great reception. Love the food. Were you aware of the full court press that I had on for at least two of the ladies that were?
Katie Riffey and
don't mention names.
Somebody else. I don't know who it was, but I do know the full court press you were pulling at Katie.
Yes. So admit to that one. Yes, 'cause she needed a ride, and I think she.
And you were going to just be a friendly guy.
I was the friendly guy, and I did nothing, and I sat in back, and I let everything happen, and I didn't press anything.
Yeah.
Even though I think her mom was trying to talk to my dad into setting us up at one point in time, back in the day before the whole. Yeah, before she got really super skinny and hot.
Yeah, and now she is a nurse in Nashville.
Right.
She just moved there last week.
Jumped all over the place.
She did for a while.
She was a comic at one point.
She worked in politics for, I don't know, 5-6 years or whatever. She's my wife's friend, not really my friend much, but
right.
She worked in politics for a while, and then her politician got in a plane wreck, I think, and ended up not surviving. So she got out of politics and went to stand-up comedy in New York. She was a comedian with a George Washington degree, so that worked out real well for her, I think.
Right.
Then she decided after 9/11 to go train to be an EMS. So she did EMS for a while, and then now she went back to school at Columbia and is now a nurse in Nashville.
Wow, it's crazy how things progress.
She
like
just
that.
goes everywhere, yeah.
Right. So, okay, you guys get married. Again, love the reception. Great gift. I love the gift that you guys gave us. I think I still have the CD somewhere.
Oh, yeah. I saw one of those the other day.
Great CD.
Yeah.
But huge Domestic Problems fan.
Yes. Yeah. Best band ever.
Right. Have you seen them lately?
No, we saw them, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years ago. We stayed here. We were up here visiting over the summer once, and they were playing the day after we decided the day after we were going to leave, and we decided to stay up an extra 2 days to see them, and it was just not as good as it used to be because they were missing notes and they forgot their lyrics, and it was clear they hadn't practiced in a while. And
right.
I think they're performing next 2 weeks from now or something.
When do you guys leave?
July 14th.
Okay.
We'll be gone by the time. I think they're actually performing in August, early August.
There you go. Okay. So again, love the song you picked. Didn't know that the song even existed until you guys played it.
It was Van Morrison's Tupelo Honey.
Very great song. Love it. That whole CD, like I said, everything on that CD was awesome. I'm trying to remember some of the other ones. I know Paul McCartney's was on there.
Yeah, Stevie Wonder was on there. This is some just fun, upbeat wedding songs. I think probably Katrina and the Waves was on there, Walking on Sunshine. There was just a bunch of fun stuff on there, really.
Right. So afterwards, of course, you guys go do your thing, and I actually got to hang out with Joe and some of his friends.
Yeah, we left early. We changed and left. We got out of our. I got out of my tuxedo. She got out of her dress, and we left. Probably, I don't know how long the party lasted. We left probably about 10 o'clock, and we had the place reserved until about midnight, I believe. And I don't know how long people were there after we left, but it was kind of fun to leave, and people watch you leave and celebrate you leaving. It was kind of cool. Right.
Okay, so you guys get married. Mm-hmm. Then what happened next after marriage?
Well, she had to find a place to live, and I had a roommate. So my roommate and I inherited my wife, and it was awkward at times, but it worked out well for all of us. Saved some money that way.
Right. That was kind of unique there.
Yeah, I was living with a roommate in Wayland, working in Grand Rapids, and he was working at the same place, but in Kalamazoo. And we're looking at places to live, and I'm thinking, we're going to be really poor because she worked at her parents' place once in a while, and she subbed every once in a while. But sub money you can't really say you're going to make. You can't count on that happening. So, and the money at Sajos was just fill-in kind of money, so we couldn't really count on that either. So we decided, since places were so expensive to live in, or that we would be so not, it would just be hard to enjoy married life without any money. So we decided that we would continue having a roommate, and that roommate was my wife. It was awkward.
No, it wasn't. Was it really that awkward?
At times, you're married for your first 6 months of marriage, you're really enjoying each other, and then you got somebody sitting on the couch watching TV, and you walk out of the room, you're like, oh, that's weird.
I'm sorry you heard that.
Yeah.
He's like, pineapple.
Yeah, right.
So, okay. I forgot. So you guys moved into a house.
We did, and we took him with us. Nice. We took Doug with us to the house.
You ever talk to Doug anymore?
Nope, I haven't. He's busy with his life, and I just, I live in Texas, and we don't really talk anymore.
Okay, so you guys end up moving to Houston. How did that happen?
Well, we were married for 8 or 9 months, and my wife graduated Grand Valley State with a teaching degree. Like I said, she went to Yuma and taught for a semester and liked teaching, and that's what she was going to do. She moved back, we got married, and then, we didn't have I had a job. It was a good job, but it wasn't a college degree job, and it was kind of a job that we could see the writing on the wall was either going to I was either going to have to move up in the company and never go to college, or quit and go to college, and we weren't going to be able to have me quit and go to college in Michigan because she couldn't get a job. So she went to a job fair at Grand Valley, and the current district that we work in offered her a job on the spot in Grand Valley without ever even seeing her, and they were impressed by her enough to offer her a job at one of the schools that they have. We didn't know that what they meant by one of the schools they have is one of the 150 schools that they had. We didn't really understand how big the school system was down there.
Okay, so you moved to Houston. What was it like moving from Michigan to Houston?
Well, it was our we spent our first anniversary in a moving truck, so it was, you get down there and it's a big adjustment. But we didn't have, we don't have any kids. We talked to our family and they said, you don't have any kids. You're young. It'd be fun to move across the country. So we decided to go, and it was a learning experience. You figure out, you get comfortable when you live somewhere forever. You live in the Grand Rapids and Dalton area. You know every road, everybody, and where they live, and where to eat, where not to do. And you move down to Houston, there's just so many. There's 4 million people in the whole city, and Dalton might have 30,000, or no, not even, like 3,000 people in the whole city. It was just so much bigger, and it was exciting.
What was the first thing you did when you got there?
Sweat.
That's great. Still sweating. Well, it's a hot heat, or it's a dry heat?
No, it is not dry. It is like Michigan, but it's 100% humidity every day.
Oh, wow.
And it just gets up to 100 most June, July, and August days. It's just unreal.
All right. So your wife is teaching. So what do you do when you get down there?
I enroll at the local community college, which is right by our apartment, and I just start going to school and knocking it out, because our goal when we moved to Houston was to get me through college so we could move back to Michigan in 5 years. Actually, was our goal. She would teach for 5 years. I would get my degree within 4 years, and then I would have a year of teaching experience by that point, and then we would come home back to our family and teach in Michigan.
Okay, so you go to school. What community college did you go to?
I went to Houston Community College first, and then we moved to a new place our second year down there because she got a new job in the same school district, but at a new school. So I changed to Lone Star College, which was still a community college. They just called it Lone Star College.
Okay.
So that I didn't ever actually graduate there because I had a history class that I just never took until my last semester at university, and then it all kind of worked out. At the very end, all the classes met up, and I was done.
So where did you end up graduating from?
Sam Houston State University in a small town in Huntsville. It's about an hour north of Houston. We were looking at what college I would go to, and Sam Houston was known for teaching, but it was an hour away. But then I could have gone to University of Houston downtown, which was really only about 20 minutes away, but it was an hour to hour and a half in the morning because you're sitting on the highway not going anywhere. So I decided I would rather go to somewhere that's an hour away, but at least they get to drive and not sit in the same spot on the highway for an hour.
Now, what did you get your degree in?
Well, it was actually, I started to get it in special education, but the classes I was taking and the classes I took at Lone Star and Houston Community College, or HCC, I ended up, my final semester going into it, which I thought was my final semester, I sat down with my advisor and she said, you need another 2 semesters to graduate with your special ed certification or your special ed degree. And I was super enraged at that point because she had been telling me, you got 1 semester left. And I said, well, we need to figure something out because this isn't going to work for me because I've been planning on being a teacher. You want to start as soon as you can. And I was not prepared to go home and tell my wife that we had to push it back another 6 months because that was not the plan. I wasn't going to be happy with that. Neither was she. And then she started looking at my credits and realized, you can actually be an elementary teacher by the end of next semester. So I get my bachelor's in, I don't know, health or sciences or something, but with a EC through 6 teaching certification.
All right. What did you do as far as a job-wise goes while you were in school?
Well, I worked at, I started at Bass Pro Shop, just kind of working in the golf store, like kind of managing the golf shop, kind of selling golf clubs to old people that didn't really come in there for golf clubs. They came into Bass Pro for fishing and hunting stuff, and they saw a golf section and would come by with golf clubs once in a while. That didn't work very long because we moved, and I just didn't really enjoy it. So then I ended up finding, weirdly enough, a job at a bike store, which was really fun. I did not expect to have a job at a bike store, but I'm glad I did now. While
at the bike store, is that where you kind of got your love for bikes?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, when I grew up in Richland, I kind of grew up in the middle of nowhere, and there was a bunch of woods behind our house, and I would go make BMX trails, and I had one friend that would come over and we'd jump our BMX bikes and go break bones and fingers and whatever else out there we could, wrapping ourselves around trees. But I always kind of had a love of riding bikes and really enjoyed doing that. So when this job at the bike store opened up, they said, well, can you change the tire? And I said, well, I can change a flat tire. And they had me do it in an interview. We'll see how fast you can do it. So I changed it, quicker than I'm sure they expected me to be able to change it, because I had done it, when I was 8, 9, 10 years old. It wasn't a big deal. And they were, they didn't sell a lot of BMX bikes, but I had bike experience, and it kind of knew how to maintain, how to fix a bike, and how to handle any problems that would happen on a bike. And I think that kind of got me into the job. Now, I didn't really expect that to be, it's such a passion, or it's such a thing I do now. I ride a bike almost, 3 days a week whenever I can now.
Looking at social media these days, are you glad that we didn't have social media when you were back in the woods? You think you would have recorded some of this?
I definitely would have recorded some of my stupid jumps and my stupid things I was doing back there. I wasn't breaking the law by any means, but I was certainly not living my best life, I guess you could say. I was just being a
kid,
10, 12-year-old boy back there with a bicycle and a friend and a shovel and some wood for a ramp, and I was jumping things and climbing into trees and jumping out of the tree with my bike in my hands, trying to land on the pedals and do some stupid trick. And I mean, it was just stupid stuff that now, if you watch fail videos, I'd have been like the best fail video ever. But
retro, go back. And
retro fail videos.
There you go. Okay, so now what types of bikes do you ride now?
I ride mountain bike and a road bike, and I just, it's mountain biking in Houston is totally different than it is here. In high school, I would take my bike out to Deep Lake Campground or Yankee Springs and ride a Saturday. I would just spend all day out there riding. It's just, in Houston, it's pretty flat, and it's really hot, so you got to do all your riding in the morning. But, up here, it's so different and better. But I spend most of my time now just riding a road bike.
What's the farthest that you've rode?
In one day, 137 miles, which really, it sounds like a lot, but I know guys who've ridden, they call them double centuries. They've ridden 200 miles in one day, 250 miles in one day, which, that's just ridiculous. I can't imagine doing that.
Right. Now, I remember one year coming up, you did a special event. Did you ride across Michigan?
I did. It's called Palm. It's pedal across Lower Michigan. I've done it a couple times. It's a fun little ride to do. You start basically, I think I've done it twice. The first year I did it, we started at Holland High School, I believe. You set up a tent, you stay on their football field, and they cook for you in the high school cafeteria. And you just kind of hang out in the high school all day. You hang out in the cafeteria, the gym. You mostly hang out by your tent, just kind of sitting there enjoying the weather. And then the next day we rode from Holland to Wayland. And then once you get to Wayland, you got to take your tent off of a U-Haul truck and set it back up. And so you just ride. There's 2 routes. You can ride the shorter route or the longer route every day. It's just kind of a fun, relaxing thing to do by yourself. I do it by myself because I don't come up with anybody else. My wife doesn't ride a bike, and I'm not really the most talkative person to people I don't know. So I just kind of stick to my own business and ride my bike. And, when I get to the school, I'm reading a book, or I'm just I'm a coach now, so I plan basketball plans and kind of think of new drills and stuff we can do.
Right. So they don't have sidecars for bikes?
They have trailers for little children.
You think you could fit me in one of those?
I said little children.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you prepare for long rides like that?
Well, people always ask, when I worked at the bike store, they would say, how can you ride 50 miles like it's no big deal? And it really isn't a big deal for your legs, because your legs will do whatever you want them to do. It's really learning how to sit on that saddle and not, that people get saddle sores all the time, and they say they complain about their butt being sore because of the saddle they choose. And it's just mostly getting used to sitting on that little seat. Okay. Is really the problem. Now, if you want to go fast, then it's more about getting your legs built up and doing those things. So for both of those rides I did across Michigan, I probably rode, I ride a lot already, but my first one of those rides I rode every day straight for 45 days because I was really concerned about the hills in Michigan and being able to get up and down the hills without having to walk my bike or having to get what they call the sag wagon, which is a car that takes you to your final stop. I didn't really want to ride in the sag wagon, so I really prepared to not have to do that. I got here and did it and realized I was way over prepared and it wasn't a big deal, and I was really fast that year for this ride. And it's mostly an older crowd, let's say 70s and up crowd. So I would leave the last. I would have my tent down last, and I would get there first every day, and it was good. It's a fun ride to do. I was way over prepared my first year.
How soon could the sag wagon pick you up? Because I think if I would have gone, I'd have been the first one in the car. Well,
they're usually in this ride, because I've done it twice, and every year there's 500-ish people that do it, so there's more than one sag wagon. there's one that kind of runs on the front with the front group, and then there's always a front group of like 20 riders that think they can just go and hammer out the route and be done with it quick, and then ends up being like 2 or 3 at the very end. So there's always a sag wagon behind the first group, and then there's the 3 or 4 kind of dispersed throughout the route, making sure people are okay, making sure they're not going to have heat exhaustion, or making sure people aren't not dizzy, feeling bad. But a lot of guys would have, some people you'll see them, they'll be riding, they'll get a flat tire, and they don't have the correct tools to change it, so they have to call the sag wagon to come fix their tire, or just take them back to the campground or to the next campground, so they don't have to worry about fixing it alongside the road.
Right. I think I would puncture my tire every time.
On purpose.
Oh, it's not my fault. I could have made it, man.
It's irreparable. Oh, man.
Exactly. So why do you have a pocket knife in your? I don't know.
That's not mine.
So, do you wear spandex?
I do. I wear spandex and a tight shirt, and I laughed at those guys that did it when I first started working at the bike store. They had a program where you could borrow a bike for a year, so I borrowed a bike, and I would ride it in my basketball shorts and my loose T-shirt, because that's I didn't want to be seen in little spandex and a tight shirt. But I realized that when the sweat never leaves your body because your clothes, it just chafing is a real deal down there in Texas sometimes.
Does it add extra weight too then? Is that
all the sweat? Yeah. But and the T-shirt just kind of, it's heavy, and yeah, so you wear like the real thin wicking shirt and the spandex, which have like I basically call them a maxi pad, and then there's the big pad that would like covers over the saddle, because there isn't much room, there isn't much padding in the saddle in general, and you're there for a long time. You don't stand up and sit down a lot. You're sitting down most of the ride. So you need some sort of protection over, on the saddle, because it's so thin. So
when you say saddle, it's the seat.
The seat, yes, sir.
Okay, gotcha. So yours did have seats on them, or saddles.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different saddles out there. So when I worked at the bike store, I learned a lot of things that I just didn't know going into the bike store about. Road bikers have all these different things they like. There's measurements for everything, and you have to get the correct measurement on your handlebars that's based off your shoulder width, and you have to get the correct measurement on the seat height, from your pedals to your hips, and that's a whole deal, and the correct angle on the seat to your knees to your feet, the plumb line, and there's just so many things that I didn't know went into road biking. And people would ask me, what's the biggest thing that you have to make sure you do right, and it's pick your saddle. And you have to pick the right width, and then you have to pick the one that's comfortable for you and long enough for you. Some of them are really short, that's not appropriate, and you got to make sure they're level. If they're not level, you'll have issues when you become older.
Right. Now, isn't there special shoes too?
There is. There's like these little clip-in shoes, so you can, on long rides, when you're riding 25, 50 miles, you don't want to just push down the whole time. You want to be able to pull up as well. So the shoes you wear, they have pedals that you clip into, it allows your right leg to push down, your left leg to pull up, and then opposite when you're going with the other leg.
Oh, okay.
So you can go a lot longer and a lot faster, and it just increases your endurance.
Aren't you worried about falling off, though?
I am, and I have, but that's just a part of it. Usually you don't fall off when you're moving unless you're riding in a pack. I was riding in a pack. I was probably the second or third rider in the pack, and I bumped the person's tire in front of me. And as I bumped her, she was leaning into the way that I bumped her, so it knocked me off my bike instantly, and I went down in the ditch and went sliding about 30 feet, stopped at a telephone pole, but luckily it just stopped at the telephone pole, didn't stop because of the telephone pole.
Okay.
Which is always good, but oftentimes when you see those people fall, they just stop at a red light and forget that they're clipped in, or can't get their foot unclipped, so they just kind of make a slow tumble, which is really embarrassing. But that's because you see it happening, and you're just like, nothing you can do about it. You just got to go down and put your shoulder out. And a lot of people have actually dislocate their shoulders because they go down and push their arm straight out, and there's no give in their arm, and they just blow out their shoulder so bad.
Got to learn how to fall, right?
You really do, yeah. Now, when you mountain bike, you fall a lot more. Like I fell last week at Yankee Springs. I was coming down this hill and hit a sand pit, and it took my front wheel and spun me around, and I went over the handlebars. But luckily, it was a sand pit, so it was just kind of a fun, soft fall.
Right. Was your feet clipped in too, or do you?
Oh yeah, they were clipped in. But as you fall out, your feet come undone automatically, because
you
have to, you turn your feet at a certain angle, and they come out. And as you're falling, your feet always come out.
Okay. Got that out of the way. I was worried about that.
No.
All right, going back to your spandex. Are you wearing spandex right now?
No, sir.
Okay, gotcha.
You wish.
Right, I do. Hey, when you were working at, was it the Bass Pro Shops or working at the Bike Barn, did you meet any cool celebrities while you were down there?
Nope, not a one.
All right.
Let me think.
Didn't you have a Craig Biggio story?
No. Oh, Robert Ory.
Robert Ory.
Robert Ory. Robert Ory came into Bike Barn, and nobody knew who he was at the bike store because there were a bunch of dudes that don't know anything about anything except bikes. And, I had a basketball history. And now, you would think, being from Houston, that they would all know who Robert Ory is, but bike guys are pretty one-dimensional, and they don't really know any other sports but biking, which is a really boring sport to follow, by the way. But Robert Ory walked in. First of all, you see this big dude who's like 6'9", and he's just a huge presence in your store.
Right.
And he needed a bike for himself, his wife, and his 3 children. And I was just like in awe of Robert Ory. He was a monster of a person. He was just so big.
Nice.
He bought 5 bikes, 6 bikes from me, whatever it was, and he was a nice guy. And I didn't even ask for an autograph. I don't know why I didn't do it, but I sure didn't do it.
Right. You played it cool.
I did. I didn't want him to think I was like starstruck.
Well, I think you were the only one who knew who he was.
Yeah, I really was.
Do you think he could see that?
Yeah. I mean, I referenced the Rockets and you've been an athlete your whole life. I worked it into my sales pitch because you have a whole thing you talk to people about, and you try to get them to relate to the bikes right away. When you sell anything, you try to get them to relate to what you're trying to get them to buy. It's you've been an athlete your whole life, and I'm sure your knees and your bones hurt and your joints hurt. So this is a low impact sport, and so I mean, he knew that I knew who he was.
Right. I would have gone for the kill and be like, Can you sign my?
Will you sign my bike receipt?
There we go.
My bike saddle.
I was talking to Rob Frost, who was a Gull Lake alum, and he was telling me about working at the mall up near Lansing, or East Lansing, and he had a lot of Michigan State players come in, and they would save the receipts if they used the credit card.
Oh, yeah.
They had a nice little wall going on a
their
wall.
Signature on the
Yep, so
that's fun.
But yeah. Okay.
That's a cheap way to get autographs, by the way.
That is. That and the PPOs that I usually get.
Yeah.
That costs more than anything. So, okay, so now you start teaching. What are you teaching now?
I'm in a biology classroom all day, but I'm a special ed teacher, so there's basically this inclusion classroom teacher.
Okay. All right, so while you're there, obviously with an athletic background, they ask you to coach some teams, I take it.
Yeah, so my first year was down there. I was at a school called Cypress Springs. I liked the school. I loved the kids. And I got hired just to be the teacher, and, I found out there was an opening on the baseball staff, and I applied and got interviewed, and I was a first-year coach that had no coaching experience of any kind at all, other than I played like an adult wooden bat league in Otsego.
I still wish I had the picture of us. That was a great Ida Green Beavers.
I claimed I was a coach there, but you do nothing when you're adult, coaching other adults. You just collect money and hand it off or whatever. Do
you still have the jersey?
I do. My wife, on Jersey Day, she won't wear it to school, and she won't let me. And she won't. It says Beavers on the front of it.
That's fair enough.
And she won't let me wear it to school either because I totally would.
Right. Do you want to borrow my Delton Kellogg?
She wears my Delton Kellogg jersey.
There you go. Okay. I've got a baseball one. I've got my football ones.
Oh,
too.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
All the numbers picked off of it.
It was.
The kids would sit inside. Or I can remember Rod Reynolds sitting in social studies class picking his little numbers off of the holes in the mesh.
So mine, I created like a saying on it. So I'm the dork that has that. Yeah.
It says kill him.
Kill him. No, it was something really stupid. I'll have to look. I have the picture of it.
Put me in, Coach. I'm ready.
Right. Exactly.
Please play me.
Right. Exactly. My name wasn't Billy Ferris. So
Hi, Mom.
Right.
You weren't like the super all-state lineman.
No, I was not. That whole family, by the way.
Yeah, they're still all states.
Right. And I shouldn't bash Billy Ferris because I'm trying to get his nephew in on the show.
Oh, Titan?
Titan,
yep.
Yeah. So anyways, so you're coaching baseball. How'd that go for you?
Well, it wasn't. I had fun doing it. It was a learning experience. I had a head coach who, it was his first head coaching job, but he was very experienced coaching. I believe he coached up in Ohio for a while where he was from. He played at Indiana, and then a small college in Indiana as well called Allegheny College. He was probably 55. Now he's still coaching out of it. He's probably 55 at that point, and he was still rocking him over the fence like it was no big deal. But I learned a lot from him. A lot of coaching down there is just such a different monster than it is up in Michigan. I came in thinking one thing would happen or expecting one thing and getting totally surprised by what I saw. Now, I took that to our school wasn't known for baseball. They were never a good baseball school. They would have killed the teams that we played on in Delton, but they were just not good down there. Compared to what the other competition was we had in our district. We were losing games 15-2, like by the third inning. They just killed the game. But you guys are done. Everybody got a chance to bat, so they would just be done with the game because there was obviously no reason to keep playing. It was, the kids had fun, I had fun, but winning is more fun, and we did not win much, and it was unfortunate.
Did you have any kids that committed to any big schools?
Not there. We did not know, because even the varsity team, we just had really, our talent was pretty bad. We had a kid, I think my last year I was there for 3 years. The last year I was there, I think we had a kid go to a local D3 school, but it wasn't really, it's not that impressive really. Yeah,
our current team right now, Dylan Stanton is set to go to Michigan.
Right.
And I found out today, I actually got a telephone call from this kid. I was driving around and he called me up. He said, "Hey, Coach Baird, by the way, I just committed to Central Michigan University.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh wow, that's cool. I said, do you mind if I tweet that? He's like, I already tweeted. Just I didn't mention Gull Lake baseball because I didn't realize you only got so many characters on Twitter.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, it's 140.
Rookies.
I know, right? So, social media guy that I am, I'm like, yeah, I understand. You know, I realized you have to think a lot more people than that. That's fine. He's like, and I really just wanted to call you personally and thank you for being part of this. I'm like, I didn't do anything. So,
well, you did more than you probably realized, and that's, you know, even if you have a bad team, you have to realize that they want to play baseball, and you're giving them the opportunity to play baseball, whether it's good or bad. You know, your record's good or bad. Just being there and being supportive and giving it all you can give them every day is more than they. You know, they'll grow up and realize that was a labor of love, and that they respect that as they get older.
Right.
And clearly he respects it because he's calling you, and you're, you know, you had him as a freshman or sophomore.
He's on the varsity, and I'm an assistant on the varsity. So.
Well, you made a connection with him where he thought he should call you and tell you that, which that's why we coach. And that's why I coach. Yeah. Is all the extra connections I get with these children.
Right. So I told him first tweet out after I congratulated him. It's like, okay, it's time to get in the Baird Cave now. So
yeah, that'd be outstanding.
Definitely another kid. So moving forward, okay. So you're coaching baseball.
Yep.
What made you stop coaching baseball? I
moved to a new school, really, and that's the only reason I quit. Well, I didn't quit coaching baseball. There just wasn't a baseball opening at the new school I went to.
Do you think that if there's an opening that you would try that, or is
not now? I wouldn't. No.
Okay.
I moved there to the new school. It's closer to my house, and it was the same district, so I didn't have to learn the new system or anything. So I just went, and my wife works there, so it worked out really good for me. But I went there without any coaching position at all, actually. But my wife is super involved with the basketball team. She goes to all the games. We don't have children of our own, so she dedicates a lot of time to these kids. And before I was there, she would go to every basketball game and all the basketball meetings, and the kids knew her. She was kind of the quasi-team mom every year.
Right.
And so she would be at the games, and I would go to the games. Even though it wasn't my school, I would still go to the games and cheer them on. And so all the kids knew who I was, and the coach knew who I was. I'd go to summer or open gym in the summer and play basketball with her school, with those kids. And so when I took the job at the new school, there was also happened to be a basketball opening there. And I put my name in for the basketball opening, and I'm getting it, which was exciting because I didn't expect to get a boys basketball job because I was coaching girls basketball at my old school.
What's the difference between coaching girls and boys?
Emotions.
Okay.
You know,
so the boys are more emotional. Is what you're saying.
Right. The boys, especially the boys. Yeah. No. The girls, they can take sarcasm and snottiness a little better than the boys can if you're not playing a game. Now we're playing a game. My biggest lesson I've ever learned coaching the girls was we were playing. They were a pretty good girls team. We won some games. We were playing probably the top team in the district, and we were way closer than we should have been. We should not have even been close to their score in the game. We were doing really well. And middle third quarter, one of my players, one of my I call them 7 through 10 guys. One of the 7 through 10 girls gets in, and she turns the ball up 3 times in a row. And I call timeout, and I have the girls. I'm talking to them all. We're a red and blue team. We're wearing a red, blue, and white. We're wearing blue away. And I look at her, I'm like, you have a blue jersey on, but you're throwing the ball to the red team, so you go stand with the red team in the timeout. And she clearly was not ready for that because I yelled it at her, so the whole gym heard me say it to her. And she kept passing the ball to them, and it made me mad, and she essentially blew the game for us. I knew we were going to lose at that point.
Wow.
But she was just a mess for us the game, and I couldn't put her in because she couldn't stop crying. So that's when I really learned you've got to, when you're coaching girls, you can get on them at practice because they're going to be mad at you and they're going to cry. But they're going to be able to perform the next day. But in a game, there's no getting them back. So I had to reel my temper in a little bit when I was coaching the girls in a game. And some boys, you can just go at and finger point their face, or stereotypical stuff. You point your finger in their face, you yell at them, and some of them it fuels them, and they really start performing better. Some of them just don't care.
Yeah, you kind of got to learn how to react or how to coach them.
Yeah,
some kids are different than others.
Yeah, and girls as a whole, you had to. If they made a mistake, and girls and boys play the sport differently. Girls are much more cerebral about how they play it. They'll stop in the middle of a practice and ask you a question when you're playing 5-on-5. They'll, Coach, what do you do here? And boys just run through it and hope they can just out athletic somebody.
Right.
And girls are more cerebral, so you have to kind of, I don't want to say love them more, but you have to give them a different kind of attention than you do boys. Boys just give me the basketball, coach. Let me go run up and down the floor, and you can tell me what I did wrong at the end. Girls want to do right all the time, so they'll do something. And if they feel like they did it wrong, they stop and ask you if they did it wrong. It's just different.
Right. Okay, so you go from being a women's basketball coach, now you're coaching boys. Mm-hmm. What level are you coaching at right now?
I was the freshman A coach. I got hired as the freshman B coach, but in Texas, there's like 9 million coaches in a school, and the A coach, which is the better of the freshmen, the more talented we call them, they're on the A team, and the A team coach was also a football coach, so he wasn't even in the basketball period for three to 4 months at the beginning of the year. So the kids didn't even know who he was, and I was there every day as the B coach, and my head coach was like, you know what, forget this. You're just going to be the A coach. You're here every day. You're dedicated. You come to all the open gyms and scrimmages and everything. Let's just put you on the A team. So my first year there was kind of hard for me because the B coach, who was basically the freshman assistant, was supposed to be me, but I got bumped up, and the guy who was there forever, he was probably there 7 years before I got there, was the A coach, and he became my assistant. He was not excited about that.
I was going to say, did that ruffle a little feathers?
Yes, and he's 6'9". He's got a basketball playing history. He's 6'9". He played at Rice and I think at University of Texas, and all of his children are monsters as well. I think he's got a daughter who plays professional volleyball in Germany. They just won some title over in Germany. His son is a strength and conditioning coach at one of our local high schools, and they're all 6'4" or bigger. And he was not excited about me coming in and taking his job from him, which was totally unintentional, but I'm not going to turn down a promotion either.
Right. You didn't set up for that. It just kind of fell in your lap.
I was just there, and I did my job. And actually, our head coach that year had his first baby in September, so I kind of took over the freshman period because him and I were in the freshman period together. And I kind of took over the freshman period and ran it myself. And he came back and asked the JV coach, how did I do? And he said, well, he took over. I didn't even need to be in there. And he said, well, we're going to promote him up. And then that made the existing A coach or the placed A coach really not very happy.
Right. Now, you talk about periods. Now, that's something different that we have in Texas, it seems, or is it just Houston?
It's Texas.
Or the whole Texas. So in Michigan, you have practice after school. There's no class, anything like that. That's pretty much it. That's
correct.
So,
in fact, you can't have basketball. You can't have an athletic period in Michigan, I don't believe.
Right. So you move to Texas, and they have periods. So basically, it's a class.
Yeah. So every kid has to take a PE in high school.
Right.
And so, when I get down there, I don't know that there's a sports period as well as a PE period. So I get down there, I'm thinking, in Michigan, you take weight training if you're a football player, and you take PE if you're not a football player. So that's what I expected would happen in Texas as well. And I get there, and I am like the baseball coach my first year at Cy Springs, and I look at my schedule. I've got baseball on my period, 7th period. Well, that's weird. What am I doing in baseball? But these kids go to their specific sport all year long for a period every day. And so now what my schedule is I have 3rd period basketball all year long, and then during basketball season, they also come to practice 2 hours a day. So we really work on a lot of stuff. So the athletes we're turning out are so much more athletic and prepared for after high school sports than they are in Michigan.
Now, does this affect like 3 or multi-sports players? Yeah,
so it's kind of weird. So you see a lot more one-sport athletes because of this, but if you have a kid who is a good football player, like we had a kid on the basketball team who was he's a really good football player. He ended up going to Ole Miss as a receiver. He's got a scholarship to Ole Miss. He's currently going to sophomore season. He was a 4-year varsity football player and a 4-year varsity basketball player. So if you're an athlete who does 2 sports and one of them is football, you play football all year long except for the 3 months you're in basketball. And then you just go in basketball for 3 months, and as soon as your basketball season's over, you're right back into football.
That's crazy.
Which, it's kind of unfair to the kids sometimes, I think, because they don't get to choose. I would rather be in basketball and play football 3 months of the year, but that's, it's how it works, and that's just what the kids expect. So we don't really have that many 2 or 3 sport athletes just because it's hard to manage it.
Do you think kids are getting more burned out because of this, or?
I think, I see it happening. Especially with this AAU movement and the social media stuff, and kids just want their pictures posted by, down south we have a bunch of guys who follow AAU basketball like crazy, and they run a lot of tournaments, and they just want their picture posted by these guys. And, this kid drops 20 points and 6 assists and 4 rebounds or whatever. This is what they want. So they're playing an hour every day with me at school, and then during season 2 hours with me after school, and then they're playing sometimes during the week with their AAU teams at night after they're done playing 3 hours a day with me during the season, which is tough on some of these kids, I believe. And then their bodies are young, so their bodies can handle it for a little bit. But as they get older, they if they have an injury, they don't ever really recover from their injury because they're just trying to pump out all this basketball stuff.
So what is your schedule like now? I know you're off for the summer, but when do you guys have to return back to school?
Oh, I don't know. When I go, my wife goes back July 22nd. She's an administrator, so she gets to go back a little earlier than I do, about a month earlier than I do, actually. I think I go back the second week in August 12th, I believe it is. We have 2 weeks of professional development, which is really not exciting. Is when you're a teacher, you don't teach to talk to adults, you teach to talk to children.
Right.
So we have 2 weeks of professional development, and then the kids come back the week before Labor Day. So we have the week of school, and then we get Labor Day off.
Now, do you pick up basketball right then, or do you have to wait?
Yep, we do. So day one, the kids, when they come in from 8th grade, they make they list the classes they want, and they all, every freshman in our school, we have 3,500 kids in our school. About 900 to 1,000 of them are freshmen, and they all think they can play basketball, so they all want to be on the basketball team. So we'll get the first day of school, we'll have 200 to 300 kids in our basketball period, which is third period. We sit them in the bleachers and we talk to them and tell them what the process is and how we get rid of. Well, you can't have a class of 300 kids or 200 kids in it, so we tell them how they're going to get cut and erased and kind of move on without them. And then we just start right on day two. They got their shorts and their jerseys, and we give them balls and set them in teams and kind of run some drills, and they're trying out for a week. That first week of school is just tryouts.
How do you keep them separated or tell them apart?
Like the athletes from the talent from the not talent.
No, just in general. I mean,
with all the kids.
Yes.
They kind of. You kind of figure it out. The kids who want to be known make themselves known either positively or negatively, and the kids who just are fine just doing what they're going to do. You I don't know. I've been doing it for 8 years now, so I just kind of learn names pretty quick and who we are going to move on in our program with and who we're not going to keep.
Right. Now at Gull Lake we have 3 programs now, and with that said, we generally have to cut maybe close to 10 people altogether, and it's a struggle just to remember all the kids.
Yeah.
And dealing with, and I feel bad because I tell the kids, I said, I probably won't learn your name unless I know you're going to be on the varsity. No offense, but being able to work with Yost and some of the freshman kids this time, and being involved in the school has helped things out. But I can't imagine having so many kids at one time practice or try out.
Well, so we've got 2 freshman teams, and I'm kind of in charge of how many we keep, and the head coach is really the final call on all this stuff, but he kind of has a number he'd like to see come out of the freshman class, and I like to play with 10 to 11. He likes 13 to 14 on the B team, and then the best 10 or 11 with me. So, we have 23 to 25 freshman players on 2 teams, and then we have a sophomore team, which is usually the B kids, the B team kids get moved up, but they are not good enough to make JV yet, so we put them on the sophomore team. And then we have a team of JV kids and then a varsity team.
Okay. So it's not just like where Delton had the varsity.
Freshman JV and varsity?
Yeah.
No, it's not like that at all.
Wow. That's the only reason I made the varsity, or made the JV.
The progression that kids are shooting for is, well, clearly they don't want to be on the freshman team ever, but the progression that we want our kids to go through is freshmen with me on the freshman A team, and then they go right to JV, and then so they can spend 2 years on the varsity team. Now, that's when your teams get really good, is when you have more experience on the freshman or on the varsity team. So we really try to get kids to varsity quickly. So our practices are high intense and they're moving quickly, and it's a lot of teaching, and it's a lot of fun. It's fast paced, but it's a lot of fun too. Now,
do you have to deal with a lot of egos with the kids that think that they're better than that?
Yeah, but you just got to teach them that you're the top dog, and that if they don't do it, then they don't play. And my coach our head coach Dan Troquet is really about discipline, and he doesn't want to. So his goal for me is to make sure kids pass their classes and make sure the kids respect the coaches. Now, not just me because I am their coach that year, but the coach, our JV coach, or our other freshman coach, or the sophomore coach, or him, the varsity coach. He doesn't want to. He has an expectation where when coaches talk, the kids shut up, and if they don't, we help them handle that situation. So his goal for me is to make sure kids pass, make sure they know how to play basketball, and make sure they respect coaches, and so discipline. And when they leave me, they better be able to do all those things, or he's going to come at me about it. He doesn't really care about win-losses at the freshman level or even the JV level. He just cares about character building in the children and making sure they're prepared for him at the varsity level, because things move so fast at varsity that he doesn't have time to check your grades and call your parent because you're a jerk or do all these things that we have to do at the lower levels.
Nice. So you kind of like the minor league system, pretty much.
Sure. Yeah. So there is egos, especially with freshmen, because they have no idea they're coming. We have 3 feeder schools that feed into our high school, and so you'll get a kid who was the best kid in his feeder school, and then a kid who was the best kid in his other feeder school, and then the third feeder school and their best kid, And there's oftentimes some battles in practice and in the class, the period, but we handle that real quick because we don't have time for it. You're either going to get on our program or you're going to get out of our program. That's kind of what we tell them all the time.
There's definitely plenty of fish in the sea.
Yeah, right. Especially if it's at a school with 3,500 kids, we can replace you rather quickly. And they figure that out pretty quick.
What is it like to cut all those kids?
So when you walk into a gym, you see 200 kids looking at your face. It's awkward the first couple years you do it, but last year was my 6th year having to cut kids, and it's never easy to cut a kid. But so that we have like 3 different cut processes. So your first day, like I said, you get their schedule. There's 200 to 300 kids in the basketball period, and we can't let them touch a basketball without a physical.
Right.
So if let's say you got 200 kids in there, 75 of them will not get a physical. So those cuts are really easy. You didn't do your job, you're out of here. That's real simple stuff to do. Now, the other 125 all expect to make the team because 75 kids just walked out of the gym, right? So they're thinking, well, I'm on this team. So then you circle those kids up and you say, look, I've got 25 positions or 25 spots and there's 125 of you in here. How are you going to stand out? So then we start working. So we give them a week to figure it out. And then we just the first cuts are easy because they can come try out again when basketball season starts.
Okay.
So we try those 125 out. They come to class on the next Monday. Their name's on the door or their name is not on the door. If their name's on the door, they come back to class Monday. If their name's not on the door, they go to PE, which is just regular gym like we all think it is. And so that's the first cut. So then basketball season comes around. So then you have, let's say those 125 kids want to try out again. And then you also have the football class because football season is now over. And then the football kids want to try out. So then we've got another 200 that want to try out again. It's just never easy to cut a kid. So then you'll get those all down to about 30 after the football kids and the first sets of cuts try again. Then you get to about 30 kids, counting the ones you've already kept. And then you've got to sit the last 5 down and really, those are the hard ones to cut. It's hard. I tried to think of ways to cut kids nicely, and it's hard to do it any way you look at it, but I always line them up and call each kid into my office. I have two entrances into the office. I'll have them come in one way and out the other. I'll have every kid do it the same way. So nobody knows really what happened. And I try to be sensitive about it because it does suck telling a kid you're not good enough to make our team and you're probably not going to play basketball. Like that's hard to tell a kid
ever again.
Right. At least not for us. And you can move if you want, but good luck with the paperwork and because that's a mess too. But these kids, it's hard to do that to a kid.
Now, do you take grades into consideration too when cutting kids?
We do. Grades and behavior. Now, my position in the school allows me to see things that our head coach can't see because I can pull up a kid's record and look at his elementary school and his middle school and see how they were as well. So we can kind of have an idea when they come to us as freshmen what they're going to act like. But we don't really mention that, or we don't have any how do I say that? We don't hold it against them how they act in middle school. We're always trying to get kids to change. We always look forward to kids who are going to grow out of their immature ways. And then we look at grades, and if you've barely gotten by in your classes, we'll give you the first report card to get it figured out. And if you can't get it figured out, we're going to cut you before season starts because the last thing we want is to carry a team full of kids who I'm going to be concerned if they're going to pass their classes.
Yeah.
Because if I'm concerned about it, then the head coach at varsity, when they're on varsity, is going to be concerned about it, and he doesn't have time to worry about that kind of stuff. So we'll move on with the kids who are not grade concerns at all before we'll move on with a bad kid or a kid with bad grades who is a pretty good athlete. We'll just move on without him.
Now, what type of offense do you guys run?
Motion offense, a 4-out, 1-in offense with a lot of pick and rolls and back screens.
You ever run Iowa?
No.
I'm trying to remember some of the older.
We ran
Delton
flex
Kelloggs.
at Delton.
Yeah, flex, Delton.
If I took my team out and ran the flex, the head coach would come out and demote me instantly.
Right.
You're done.
Right.
Down to the sophomore, down to the freshman B team.
There you go. That's funny. It's definitely different types of style.
Now we use flex cuts, but we don't run the flex, and that is such a slow offense. And
right.
That's when I was taught it was a slow offense. Now they've sped it up a little bit, but it's not what we run.
Are you full court press, man to man?
Yeah, we are the run and jump, full court press. We try to score in 6 seconds, get back, play defense, get the ball back, score in 6 seconds. We're a high scoring team when we work right, and they're a low scoring team when we do our defense right as well.
What's the most points you've ever scored in one game?
The varsity 2 years ago scored 107 points.
Oh, wow.
And the team they beat, it was 107 to 67 or something. And they were a really good team, and they were just down a year, and they had a new coach come in as well.
Right. Okay. Now, You had the opportunity to come back to Michigan. Are you seeing the fireworks that are going on?
I am. I was I thought it was lightning first.
No, yeah. So we're sitting on the back porch because it's a little bit nicer out, but we're out by the Field of Flight Balloon Festival going on right now over at WK Kellogg Airport. So if you hear some booming in the background, it's fireworks. So that's all I need is more ADD things to come and throw things in my face. So, okay. So you had the opportunity. I remember taking you to a basketball game up in Marshall. What do you think of the different level of competition as far as Michigan and Houston?
Well, I mean, we watched Gull Lake and Marshall, correct?
Yes.
What size? How many kids are Gull Lake and Marshall? Do you know?
1,000 probably each.
1,000 each. Okay, so we just play a much faster brand of basketball, and that might just be because we have more kids and we can do that. We can run them to death and get them conditioned like we would like them to be conditioned. And we also have them, like I said, every day for an hour at least until basketball season. Then we have them for 2 hours or 3 hours a day. So we get more conditioned athletes. We get better and stronger athletes, more in shape, more familiar with the weight room kind of athletes. You know, I watched Gull Lake and Marshall. I think Marshall had two twins, right? Yeah. Those two tall twin kids. They were pretty good, but I mean, our kids would just ran over them because they played such a slower game than we would have played.
Right. Was it hard to watch?
No, it just felt like going back to high school, watching them play their slow version of basketball. I was comparing it to Delton's slow version of basketball.
Right. The whole Hoosiers pass 4 times before you take a shot.
Boy, yes. Well, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Any fond memories as a coach so far?
A lot. Most of it's the relationships I build with the kids. And I'm not trying to sound cliche or whatever, but my wife and I don't have kids, so we don't really have anything that draws us away from practice. So I hang out with the kids a lot. Right now we kind of have some kids that are in college that text us and ask us how we're doing, and it's really just the relationships that we've built with the kids are the best part I like about it. My first year at this school, we won district, which was unexpected. My team was really good, and I didn't know how good we were actually. Now those kids are becoming seniors this year, so it's really exciting to see them grow through the system and become they're adult men now playing basketball, and they're getting recruited, and it's fun to watch them get recruited, and they're excited, and they come tell me like, this coach called them, or this coach is wanting to speak to them, or coaches come to the game night to watch me play, and it's exciting to hear that. They invite us to their AAU stuff, and it's fun. That's why you do it. You see these kids grow, and they get excited about this stuff.
Do you ever talk to any of the college coaches that come by? Sometimes
I do. Now there's 2 basketball periods. There's third period, which is all the freshmen, and then fifth period, which is the sophomore, JV, and varsity team. So the varsity team has all the recruits on it, obviously, when we are recruited. So the coaches don't really come until fifth period. But like the last couple of years, I've had the luxury of having my off period in teaching. My conference was during fifth period, so I was able to sneak into the gym, and I talked to Calvin Sampson from Houston, and I think the guy from BYU was there. I can't remember his name, unfortunately, right now. He was there, and they're nice. They're just down-to-earth people. They're really cool. Generally, they're really cool coaches who are just looking for good guards or bigs.
Right, looking for some extra information.
Oh yeah, anything they can get. They ask me, they ask the head coach what he's good at, and like what's this kid do for you. Then they'll kind of ask the assistants how are his grades, how are his behavior, and that's
right.
I know all that stuff because I had them as freshmen, so I've seen them grow through the system, which is an advantage that I think I have over the head coach. Is I've coached almost every kid in our program before he gets them.
Right,
which is exciting because I know what some of this kid, if there's a big kid on him, he's not going to perform like you want him to. You might want to move him out of that position and somewhere else, and so you can see your input based on what this kid's going to do applied in the game by the head coach. It's kind of cool.
Right. Now, did you ever geek out in front of them or anything like that?
No.
I try not to, but sometimes it just happens.
We haven't had any recruits in our school that have been big enough since I've been there, other than Calvin Sampson's our biggest head coach that's been in. He was in there 3 years ago when U of H wasn't really good yet.
Right.
They were still building. 2 years ago, I think, was his first year. So yeah, his first year. We have a good kid now on our team. He's 6'8". He was getting recruited by Houston, still is, and Kelvin comes in once in a while. His son comes in now all the time and talks to us.
Nice. Yeah, we've had Michigan recruiters for baseball, and of course, it's their assistant coaches coming around.
Yep. Unless they really want him, the head coach comes once or twice.
Right. I thought I built a decent relationship with Michigan State's coach. Mm-hmm. I bet if I found his email again, that he'd respond back. Yeah. And then Billy Gernon from Western, his son actually plays for Portage Central. So every time that we play Portage Central,
he's there.
Yeah. For the most part. But yeah, building those relationships, I'm trying to. I I joke, but I would honestly, I would love to move up to like the next level. And it's such a difficult process in baseball to do that.
Yes.
Because
and coaching at all, really.
And I'm not necessarily want to do it as a coaching, as far as I wouldn't mind just being like a clubby or like a director of baseball operations. I think is something I want to do too.
Right.
So, but just trying to build relationships with them, and if they ask me anything, I'll drop everything for them. And it's Coach Walters is like, "What are you up to?" And it's like, he needs this.
Yep.
You realize we got a game going on. I'm like, meh, he needs this.
Right. He wants your kid.
Right. Exactly.
Get what he needs.
Right. So, but yeah, that's one of the luxuries of Coach Walters not having to do that and deal with that is, having me around. So, not tooting my own horn there, but yeah.
We haven't had any big recruits come out of our school for basketball. Now, we have had some for football. Like I said, we had the kid that go to Ole Miss, and this year we've got a senior on the team who could basically call up any coach in America and say, "I want to come to your college and play," and they would have him come in because he's been recruited by LSU, Alabama, or Oklahoma State, Ohio State. He's going to LSU. His name's Josh White. He's just a crazy athletic kid. He's a linebacker. He's incredible. I've never seen a kid so fast in my life and that big.
Right.
But our district pumps out some athletes. We had De'Aaron Fox come out of our district, who is now plays for the Kings. So at his last game as a senior at his school, Coach Calipari was in the gym, which is just so cool to see a coach like Coach Calipari sitting in the stands right next to you watching the same high school game you're checking out. We've had some Jordan Hicks from the St. Louis Cardinals. We actually went to our school. Now, he didn't get recruited as heavily because summer baseball recruit happens all the time in Houston, so they really don't come to the high school games.
Yeah. You're finding that out, too, with Michigan high school as well.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's good for the kid because then their recruiting's done before their senior season of baseball. But, I like seeing the coaches come around and show their faces.
Right.
And it was cool to see Coach Cal at that game. And then to see who else. We've had Cameron Fleming, who plays he was on the Patriots, a couple Super Bowl teams, so he was at our school, but it was before my wife or I were there.
Right.
But he played on the basketball team, but like I said, I wasn't there yet.
So I was on Tom Izzo watch. So when he was recruiting Isaiah Livers. I don't know if you're familiar with Isaiah Livers.
No idea.
So Isaiah he went to Kalamazoo Central.
Okay.
He actually played baseball. He was like their number one pitcher, but he was obviously Mr. Basketball at K Central.
So he's just athletic.
He was just athletic.
He's an athletic kid. Right.
So he was getting recruited by everybody. Ended up going to Michigan, but Tom Izzo was in the mix, and Michigan State was in the mix. So he had come to the Kalamazoo Central Gull Lake game at Kalamazoo Central. So I had people in the crowd going, "Hey, let me know if he pops his head in to shoot me a text." And luckily he didn't show up. So it was for his safety he didn't show up. So, but yeah, that's just insane like that to see coaches that are actually willing to put in the time to come meet kids like that.
And
so
Coach Cal at that game, we knew he was in the building, but we couldn't find him, and he was sitting. Like he was standing behind the bleachers, kind of hidden until the game started and he came out. Because as soon as he came out, he was mobbed by all these people. And
of course,
it was a distraction, I'm sure, for him and for the game going on. But the kid he was recruiting was going to Kentucky. Like since he was a freshman in high school, he was just crazy good.
Right.
I didn't have to coach against him, thank God. But I can't imagine trying to game plan against him. You just hope to God he misses a couple shots for you is all you could really do.
Right.
He was so good.
Let him beat you and not let anybody else beat him.
But the problem was you couldn't slow him down, but if you managed to make him pass the ball once in a while, he would just. The team they had were really good at shooting 3-point, and they had this really good 3-point offense they ran, and nobody ever missed. It was unreal.
Right. All right, now it's time for the fun segment of the show, a chance to get to know the other side of Jud Stephens. Now, do you have any special talents that most people don't know you have?
I don't believe so.
Oh, I'll have to ask your wife on that.
My wife says I have a what does she say? I walk around with mean all the time. I'm not a very friendly face. She says I have a resting jerk face, we'll call it.
Yes,
and
makes sense.
People in our school will often question why she's married to me because I am such a jerk, when really I'm not. I just don't care to talk to you.
Honestly, I think this is why you and I get along so well. Right. I think we both have the same face.
Right.
But if you actually got to talk to us, you realize I know I'm a big dork.
I totally am.
And you're probably the funniest person I know.
I'm just a nerd.
Right. So. But yeah, like I said, the funniest person I know. And I know a lot of comics.
Yeah, well, so good for me, I guess.
Yes. All right. If they made a movie about you, who would star in it?
Oh, man. Let's go with Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins. Oh, is that just because you met him?
That's because I peed next to Tim Robbins, yes.
Right. That's a funny story.
I was at a Pearl Jam concert. It was the Vote for Change tour and Death Cab for Cutie and Pearl Jam were performing at...
Van Andel.
Nope, the other one, Deltaplex.
Deltaplex.
Tiny one, yeah.
Oh,
Deltaplex,
wow.
yeah.
Okay. So just kind of recap, that Vote for Change thing was just... I wouldn't say it was a debacle.
No.
But you were at the Pearl Jam concert.
Yes. And there was a bunch of concerts the same night happening, and I was at the Pearl Jam concert.
So Ryan and I were at the Bruce Springsteen REM.
Oh, Bruce Springsteen.
No. Alanis Morissette. Yes. No, Avril Lavigne came back a couple of years later. That's where we're at. No. So what? I'm trying to remember who else. I know the Dixie Chicks. This was all in Detroit, and I don't know. You had Deltaplex was the only other one, but at the same time there was like Cobo. There was
everything.
Auburn Hills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we got Cobo and
DTE had a couple of shows.
Yep. I think Dave Matthews Band. Yep. Jackson Brown. I'm throwing that one out there. And
something in Chicago was going on, I think, too.
Bonnie Raitt. But yeah. So you saw Pearl Jam. We saw REM and Bruce Springsteen, and we didn't think, hey, it's gonna. I didn't know how political it was going to be.
Correct.
It's this dumb thing of my thinking sometimes.
Right.
And it was. There's protesters. There's everything. It was stupid.
Yeah, I didn't get the protesters at the Deltaplex like I'm sure you guys did you were at the Palace, right?
No, we were at Cobo Arena.
Oh, okay, yeah. But there was no protesters at ours. And Death Cab for Cutie sang, and they were middle of their set, which I'm not really a Death Cab for Cutie fan. Tim Robbins came out and sang probably half the rest of their set for them.
Nice.
And Pearl Jam came out and played, and they were playing a song I didn't really care to hear, or some protesting song, or some political song I didn't really...
Hey, this is off our new album.
Yeah, I didn't go to hear any of that stuff. I wanted to hear,
10.
Yellow Ledbetter, and I want to hear all the 10 stuff, right?
Yep.
So they started playing some random crap I didn't care about, and I went into the bathroom because at a concert, the only time to go is when the band's playing, if you don't want to wait. So I walked in, I'm standing there at the urinal doing my business, and I look up, and Tim Robbins is next to me doing the same thing. I was just amazed to see Tim Robbins in the bathroom.
Did you call him meat?
No, but I did say, hey, you're Tim Robbins, and all he said to me was, yep, and then walked out. That was the end of it.
Did he wash his hands?
He did.
Okay, good. Whew.
He did.
I was worried about that.
I call him meat. That's funny.
That's fine. Okay, who would be the love interest if you were making the same movie?
Who would play my wife?
There you go.
Oh, man. I don't know. Let me think. Let's go with, I don't know.
You don't have a favorite female actress?
I like Julia Roberts a lot. She's always a good act. I would. The movie that would be my life would be Tom Hanks as me and Julia Roberts as my wife. There we go.
Isn't that You Got Mail?
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know. P.S. I Love You. I'm not sure.
No, not Tom Hanks. I'm going with Kevin Costner.
There you go.
There we go. All the baseball movies.
There
Kevin Costner. There we go.
For the Love of the Game?
That's my favorite movie, actually.
Right,
just after Shawshank.
There we go. Nice. All right. If you could go back in time and observe any event in history without changing the outcome, what would it be?
Yankees Red Sox game 4, the year they came back from 3-0 down and won it.
Okay, yes.
They
made a movie about it?
Yeah, that one.
Fever Pitch?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
well, that's an epic
You're
comeback.
going low on that one.
No, it's one of my favorite.
You're digging deep for that, that reference.
But yeah, that was an epic comeback.
Yeah, unreal.
I remember watching it. I was in one of the local sports bars, and I'm like, "Is this really happening?"
And I'll admit, I was a bandwagon Red Sox fan, so I was cheering on. But I also, as an athlete, you just know how hard it is to be better than the best for 4 games straight when you should have lost. It's just crazy to me to think about. It's never happened again.
No. Do you think it ever will?
Yeah, eventually.
Right. All right. If you could meet any celebrity, who would it be?
I don't know. I'm kind of a not emotional guy, so I kind of tend to draw myself to them. Like Scottie Pippen's not very emotional, so I would kind of probably go there. I'm not like I don't want to meet Dennis Rodman. He seems like he's too much for me.
Maybe Dennis Rodman Pistons era, or
maybe
before he got weird?
But not even an athlete so much. But maybe like to sit down and talk to Kevin Costner or something. I don't know, man. I'm not really. I don't know. Somebody with a story would be who I want to talk to.
Right. Do you remember your first celebrity crush?
Yep. Pamela Anderson. I was a Baywatch guy. I watched Baywatch all the time.
Have you seen the new Rock Baywatch?
I have not. I
Please
refuse.
Don't. There you go.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor. I'll give you money not to watch it.
I will not watch that movie. I promise you that.
Although Zac Efron is in it, but
it doesn't matter to me.
He steals the show. Anyways, All right. Any songs on your playlist that you might be embarrassed for me to look at, like guilty pleasure songs, maybe?
So I'm pretty music. I like a lot of music. I know a lot of music, and when you teach children, you know a lot of music. But I don't know, I was 21, somewhere there, and my then girlfriend, who's not my wife, asked me to look. She wanted to look through my CDs or something, and she's looking through them, and there's like Pearl Jam and Metallica,
right.
and like Tool and Marilyn Manson, like typical dude music. There's just a bunch of alternative music and Alice in Chains stuff. And she got to the last page, and I tried to hide a Destiny's Child CD, and she found it.
Say my name.
She looked at me like, really? Destiny's Child? Yeah, it was the Say My Name. I don't know, the Bills, 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 that whole CD. And I still have to hear that every time a Destiny's Child song comes on the radio.
She was okay with Hanson, but struggled with Destiny's Child?
There was no Hanson in my music catalog.
Liar.
Just the Christmas version.
Okay, gotcha. You didn't like the long blonde hair of the little boys?
No, that's creepy.
That is very creepy. All right, is there any movies or TV shows that you guys watch constantly?
We watch a lot of TV, a lot of Netflix, really, because like I've said before, we have no children, and so like when we're home and relaxing, we really like to just, I try to turn off like my brain and try not to think about school or coaching and get away from it. Also, we'll watch a lot of Netflix series. Orange is the New Black.
Excited about that coming out?
I am. It's the last season, though, and I'm kind of glad it's the last season because it was, you can see a show kind of turn to where it needs to be over, and it's getting there, so I'm glad to see it's getting over when it should.
You know what the term is called?
Nope.
Jumping the shark.
There you go. They're jumping the shark just in time then, I guess, right? Did I use that right?
Yep, you did.
Awesome.
Yep,
and we watch a lot of true crime stuff.
Okay.
We just watched the one about the Central Park 5. We enjoyed that a lot.
Okay. Do you watch Stranger Things?
Nope.
Okay.
We tried. We got through half of season 1, and we're just not science fiction people.
Gotcha. It's a lot of 80s reference, so I don't know if you're more of a 90s kid.
No, true, but I liked the 80s a lot.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, I don't know.
Definitely the music wise goes.
Yeah, for sure.
I really want to thank you for getting me hooked on Letterkenny, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome. That show was awesome.
Oh my gosh, we missed the opportunity to go see them. Letterkenny Live came to Chicago.
Really?
In June.
Oh my gosh, that'd be sweet.
Yeah. So, and I had no idea about them until you mentioned them.
And I only know it from one of my teacher friends because she told me what's the main character's name, the redheaded guy?
Oh, Jared. His real name's Jared, but I can't remember.
Anyway, she said, "That's you. You need to watch the show."
Oh, it is.
She's
oh my gosh.
pretty close. Yeah. Because of my hate for most things in general, and his hate for most things in general matches up pretty well.
Does that make me Squirrely Dan if we keep going that route?
I guess, yeah.
I think I could pull that.
Or at least you're not the preacher.
Right. No, let's hope not.
Glenn.
If anybody knows these references, let's hope
you're not Glenn.
Definitely not. Or Shorzy or what are the two hockey kids?
Yeah, I can't remember their names. I just call them hockey kids too. Yes. I don't even know their names.
Oh, Jonesy and something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole if anybody wants to watch a show, it's on Hulu. I think the 7th season is going to be coming up.
It's shortly. Canadian. It's just so hilarious.
It's it's epic. So okay, do you have any specific pregame playlists that you had in high school when you warmed up?
Well, not really. We'd walk out or we'd run out to when we were in high school. The Bulls were still a big deal, so we walked out to their general walkout song that we thought we were being original by copying them, I guess.
Right.
But in the locker room, I'd listen to my own stuff, and it was like Metallica or Alice in Chains, just alternative stuff, just kind of get my mind in the right spot. And now I listen to totally different stuff to get my mind in the right spot.
What about the kids? What do the kids listen to nowadays?
Oh my gosh, they listen to some filthy trash.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's filthy trash, and sometimes it's I enjoy it. Like they all listen to hip hop and rap, and I don't even know the name of most of the names they listen to now because the music has taken such a turn. It's not as publicized as it used to be. It's all underground stuff in Houston, at least, and they're listening to stuff I've never heard of.
Okay, yeah, it is. It's kind of crazy dealing with the teenagers this year, and every year I pick up a new song that I like.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting. Since 2007, I have a song that pretty much goes with each year that I've coached. So
I feel like I chase the music. Like I'll hear what the kids listen to because we'll play it in the weight room, and I'll be like, that's kind of a cool song. And so I'll look at that artist and kind of start listening to him, and the kids will be like, Coach, where are you at? That's like 10 years ago. Catch up. And I can't keep up with it. I just know what I like to listen to, and that's all I can do.
I'm late to the show on everything. Yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, it happens when you get old.
Yeah, for sure.
But I was thinking that the other day. I was like, I want to start making viral videos. I think I want to learn how to make money off of doing nothing.
What was that website we were in? Punch Baby? Was that?
Punch Baby? Yes. Right. Yes. MySpace? No.
The original failed video.
There
Punch Baby.
All right. Now, did you have any weird pregame rituals or routines?
Okay, so I moved to Delton Kellogg as a freshman, and I played Gull Lake Gleba basketball, and I stole my pair of 8th grade Gleba shorts and wore them under every basketball game I was at in high school.
Okay, Michael Jordan.
Yeah. I didn't do it because of him. I just did it because I had a good game. Like I said, I was a pretty good freshman, so I wore them all freshman year under my shorts. And I thought, well, hell, I had a good year. Let's do it every year. So I just did it.
Were your shorts baggy at the time?
Oh, yes. Down past the knees. You couldn't dribble. You couldn't cross between your legs without getting stuck in the crotch of your shorts. That's how we did it.
So my freshman year of basketball, we had the hand-me-downs of the hand-me-downs of the hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
These were back when it was short shorts.
Yeah.
We had to buy bicycle shorts
to go underneath your shorts. Yeah.
Luckily my sophomore year, totally different. So I went from short shorts to back to what you guys had pretty much.
Yep.
So I think
we probably had those shorts my freshman year.
Yeah. I never made it to the good, nice silver Delton Kellogg stuff.
Oh, my junior year we got new shorts or new jerseys, and then my senior year we got new stuff again. So I don't know what happened there, but I never had a repeat uniform when I was in high school.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
I always like the warm-ups too.
Yeah. And actually my wife today was looking at pictures and found she was a cheerleader, so she found some of her old pictures, and we were looking at those warm-ups today, and I thought about texting those to my coach and saying we should get some old retro warm-ups.
There you go. So your wife, by the way, was my cheerleader. And we did not have any cheerleaders in my grade, so we either relied on the grade ahead of us. Yep, the grade ahead of us or the grade behind us. And during football season, of course, your wife was my cheerleader.
Best cheerleader out there.
It was. She was awesome.
Yep.
All right, so always wore the same shorts underneath. Did you play with Kevin Lillybridge?
I did. We graduated together.
Do you know his weird story?
No.
Okay, we'll leave that out then. We'll talk about that off air. I probably shouldn't say that, but yeah, I heard about one of his pre-game rituals. And
is it the PGP?
There we go.
There you go. Yep, that started on our team. Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So okay, all right. Gatorade or Powerade?
Gatorade, purple.
Purple.
Yep.
Riptide Rush, or is it just
grape?
Just grape.
The grape G2.
There we go. Okay.
Maybe a Frost if I'm feeling frisky.
Okay. I've heard that it turns your poop green.
Does not mine.
Okay, sorry. Past reference to an old podcast.
You might want to go to the doctor.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Maybe he should. I've never had green poop in a while. So, anyways, gum or seeds?
Ooh, coaching?
Yeah.
Coaching baseball, it was seeds. Playing basketball, it was gum.
Of course.
Yep.
Do you remember the Gatorade gum they used to have back in the day?
No.
Oh man, that stuff was awesome.
I would chew Big League Chew during basketball games.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because that stuff held flavor forever.
Yeah, of course it does.
Yeah.
I don't know if it does nowadays.
I don't either.
Being kind of. So okay, so gum. What did you have a specific type of flavor of seeds that you liked?
I was a regular guy. Now
okay,
the
old
kids,
school.
Yeah, the kids all like bacon ranch or something sriracha or dill pickle, and I just liked regular seeds.
Nice. There we go. Now, like you said, they have so many different types of seeds out there. But definitely, people have disposable income these days. So.
Yeah.
All right. Best concert you've ever been to?
Let's see. Going from 99 to 2000 when it was the Y2K scare, Metallica, Kid Rock, Ted Nugent, Soulfly and Seven Dust at the Pontiac Silverdome.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it was crazy. It went on till 4 a.m. It was crazy.
Wow. And
I was a junior in high school.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Worst concert ever?
Oh, gosh. Okay, so this is kind of embarrassing. My wife and I took a trip. We're both teachers, so we were able to travel most summers. We take a road trip every summer somewhere. And we went to the East Coast one year. Okay. Drove up from Atlanta, saw a Braves game in their new stadium that was 3 days old, SunTrust, I believe it is.
Yep, SunTrust.
And drove up through the East Coast and stopped in Nashville, Tennessee, and went to the Grand Ole Opry to see what we thought was going to be just a nice country concert, but turned out to be yodelers and like viola players. And it was the worst concert we've ever seen. We walked out of it, actually.
Oh, wow.
It was incredibly bad.
My worst concert ever, Dave Matthews Band.
Really?
Yeah, it was awful. It was in Noblesville, Indiana. And if you know anything about Noblesville, Indiana, it is a suburb of Indianapolis.
Chicago. Yep.
And it was a Verizon Center. I can't remember what it was. It was an outdoor pavilion, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
DTE, I love it. But DTE is planned for all the traffic that's going to get there.
Yep.
This was not. So
God.
We were late getting into the concert.
Just a mess.
And we had lawn seats, so we were up on the lawn. And we had some hippie girl ended up spilling her beer on me, dropping a cigarette, all within like 5 minutes of each other. And they didn't play any of really the real hits. Like you said, when you went to Pearl Jam, you wanted to hear 10.
I want to hear all 10.
Yep, that's it.
Yep.
They were like, oh, this is going to be off our new album. I'm like, oh, we're done. We're checked out. So, And it was a long drive down there, so it was
When I went to a Blues Travelers concert once in Houston, It was Blues Travelers, Uncle Cracker.
Oh, wow.
Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Oh, wow.
And another 90s. It was like a whole 90s thing.
There you go.
I can't remember who it was. But his voice was out, so he could barely sing without his voice cracking every other word.
Wow.
And he performed, it was fine, but it's just not the same when he can't really go at it like he does on the music, on the CD.
John Hopper?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Is that before or after he lost all the weight?
It was like 4 years ago, so after.
Okay, gotcha. So it's obviously time for him to, turn it off.
Yeah. Well, he said he told us before the show he had a cold, but he was going to sing anyway. And I don't know, it was a good show. It just wasn't exciting to hear him voice crack the whole thing.
Right. Now, is there any concerts that you're excited about going to see, like right now?
Nope, not really. I don't have any in the future.
Okay.
I mean, Pearl Jam never comes to Houston, and so Austin puts on this big music festival called South by Southwest, and it is crazy big. And I'm not really a people person, so I'll never go there to see Pearl Jam play, which they go there quite often, actually.
Right.
But I'll never go there to see them play because there's just so many people, and you can't park, and you have to get a hotel that's super overpriced and ridiculous, and I'm just not okay with that.
Now, is the last Pearl Jam concert you saw was with us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember
that was the Van Andel one, right?
Van Andel,
yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ended with the Yellow Ledbetter.
Yeah, they always do. I've seen them 4 times. They always end with the Yellow Ledbetter.
Nice.
I did go see Chris Stapleton at the Houston Rodeo this year, which was a good concert, but the Houston Rodeo was in the Reliance Center, which is where the Texans play.
Okay.
So and there's an actual rodeo at the Houston Rodeo. Now, we weren't familiar with this when we moved to Houston, how this works, but there's a rodeo before the concert. So they're using the whole, basically, football field that's been filled up with dirt for a rodeo, and then a stage gets wheeled out to the middle of the dirt pit, which is the football field, and no seats are around it. So you're so far away from him.
Okay.
It's not real personal, and they just kind of play 10 songs and they're done.
Wow.
It's a good show. It's just not as, it's nothing like going to the intersection and watching the show.
Yeah. Oh, that brings up so many memories.
Oh, yeah.
Mega 80s.
Yep, that's good.
Maybe if they're up, if they're going on when you're around, maybe we should go up there sometime.
Yeah, we should.
They're still pumping it out. I do keep up track on that.
I can't believe that.
But yeah. Okay, if you could have one job the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, I'm doing it. Coaching and teaching.
All right, like it.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. How many more years before you retire?
Oh, boy. I don't even know. Never.
You're not a math teacher, so you can't figure that one out.
I don't know the formulas and the numbers.
Don't forget to carry the 1.
Yeah. Subtract the 7s. I don't know when. It's going to be a while.
Nike or Adidas?
Nike shoes.
Nike shoes?
Mm-hmm.
Now, being in biking, is there obviously a lot different types of equipment out there? So, does Nike have biking equipment? Or?
They used to. They don't anymore. None of the big names that like shoes and athletic apparel are in bikes. Okay. Nike used to be, and they used to sponsor Lance Armstrong and his team, but they're no longer in biking.
Well, I think you see the writing on the wall for that one.
Yeah, for sure.
So we trusted this guy. See what happens. Yeah. No,
look at this.
I'm sure it's no coincidence or no. What's the word I'm looking for? No correlation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big word for me. I'm impressed.
Good job.
All right. What sport do you wish you were good at?
Tennis. I think tennis looks like fun, but I'm not good at it.
Too many lateral movements for me.
Yeah. But all you need is one person to play it. That's why I was always thinking it would be fun. It's because you just need you and one other person and just go at it. But I'm just not any good at it, so I don't even try.
Right. Maybe small.
I'm more of a ping ponger.
There we go. I was going to say maybe
miniature tennis, right?
Miniature tennis.
Yeah.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
On a table? Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Right. PS4 or Xbox?
Neither.
I
don't do video games.
You don't do video games anymore?
Nope. I had a Wii for years that I used to watch Netflix on.
You were actually really good at karaoke, by the way.
Yeah, great. Thanks for that.
Remember the karaoke?
I do.
What was that called? I'm trying to remember what it's called. Karaoke Revolution.
Oh yeah, Karaoke Revolution. Yeah, that was fun. And I would often go karaokeing when I was in high school and after high school. We had a lot of fun doing it. But it's because you're hanging out with your friends and you're drinking beers and having a good time.
So I remember it was Pretty Woman.
Uh-huh. That was my song right there.
Your go-to song to go to?
I once tried. Oh, this is the most embarrassing moment of my life. It's unreal. But I once tried. I'm a Neil Diamond guy. I like listening to Neil Diamond.
Right.
I can sing him in my truck like nobody's business. In fact, I was singing him on the way here. I was singing Forever Blue Jeans on the way here.
Right.
It came on my Spotify list. And I once got the nerve up to sing Brother Love's Traveling Salvation Show.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't realize that song was like 6-minute, 7-minute song. And when you're not good at singing a song karaoke and it's a long song, you just want to die.
After that, you tried American Pie by Don McLean.
Yeah, no
the
way.
Next longest one.
So I was singing, and it was just, well, I knew all, you know all the words when you go sing a karaoke song. At least I believe you should know all the words when you go sing a song in karaoke. You shouldn't be learning, because then you're that guy. So I knew all the words. I went up there, and I was committed 100% and realized that it was the worst thing I have ever done in my life in front of people. And my wife, to this day, when that song comes on, or when Neil Diamond gets mentioned by anybody, not just me, she looks at me and says, remember that time you did that song? And I just want to not ever think about it. She never passes the opportunity up to tell me about how bad I was that day.
I do have the same similar story. It was Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, God.
And it was with Ben's wife and her best friend.
I would never sing that song either. It's too long.
Right.
And if you're bad at it, you're up there for 5.5 minutes trapped.
It was awful.
You can't tell them to turn it off, because then you're that guy who turned it off. Nope, not doing it.
So, and then I think that it was either that time or the time before. I remember the time that we went, it was for my birthday, that you sang Pretty Woman.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's that little place in Parchment, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yep. That burned down.
Yep.
But anyways, we went there, and throughout the night we were all goofing around, not really singing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did an Elvis Presley song.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently I did it well enough for the lady who was running it.
Right.
It's like, you should really seriously think about not singing any of those screaming songs, and just you have a beautiful enough voice to sing like Elvis Presley. I'm like, right. Is that because I'm fat? She's like, no. So, and we ended up hooking. I'm kidding, we didn't end up. But
no, we didn't.
That was awful. But yeah. So I was gonna say one of your most hidden talent, or your best hidden talent, might have been karaoke.
Okay, I didn't think about that, but okay, I'll take that.
All right, favorite food?
Pizza.
Oh, obviously. Is that why? Okay, I got to ask you this. You obviously you didn't marry Amber for the Sejo's fortune.
It's just a benefit. I get Sejo's pizza when I want it, when I'm at home. That's just it's like comes along with the package.
Now, do you make anything special just for yourself that's different, that's not on the menu?
Let me think. Not really. I'll just kind of modify some stuff. Like I'll make nachos, but nachos are on the menu, but I'll put stuff on them that isn't offered.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll like use their dough but bring in pizza toppings that they don't have, or I'll make like garlic bread out of the crust and then make pizza on it, and they don't do that on the menu.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Favorite sports movie?
For Love of the Game.
Nice.
For Kevin Costner.
Yep.
There's no better way to go out than throwing a no-hitter. There's no better way to go out of a sport.
Especially against the Yankees.
I mean, how can you do it? Like, you can't go out that way in basketball. What are you going to do? Score? Like, Kobe Bryant scored, 60 points his last game, but big deal.
Right.
He scored 60 points all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, dude went out throwing a no-hitter.
Yep.
That's the way to go out.
Billy Chappell.
Yeah.
Any family traditions?
Not really. No.
Favorite hangout place?
Now or?
Let's go now.
I don't really.
Home? You like hanging out home?
Probably home, yeah. It's just because it's just quiet there.
Right. Kind of a chance to unwind.
And I get to turn off and just kind of not do anything there.
All right. What's your go-to meal to cook when you're by yourself?
It's probably like pizza rolls and macaroni and cheese.
There you go. Nice.
Just because it's easy. I mean, I can make cheeseburgers or something, but that's just more than I want to do because they have to do all the dishes, and that's just a pain.
Right.
Just give me something. I can turn the microwave on and toaster oven and walk away.
Who cooks, you or your wife?
My wife, but I clean the kitchen and do, like, if she cooks, it's kind of understanding. If she cooks it, I'll clean the kitchen.
Right. So I've got to mention this going way back before you guys moved to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it was domestic problems, New Year's Eve. I had the best chicken parmesan ever.
Yep, that was her.
That was awesome. I just want to mention that.
Yeah.
And if she ever wants to make it again, I'll definitely eat it.
Yeah. So
does she still make that or no?
Not so much. She has expanded her cooking by miles.
Okay.
That's her. Oftentimes I'll go ride Saturday and Sunday mornings, and she'll spend Saturday morning when I'm out riding my bike kind of preparing the week's grocery list, and then she'll spend Sunday cooking the week's grocery list, which is my favorite part. I come home and the house smells like food, and so that we're both teachers, we're both busy, so she'll cook all the food on the weekends, then we'll kind of pull it out of the fridge or out of the freezer and heat it up for dinner that night.
Nice.
But that's her. When I'm out riding, she likes to cook food for the week and get that all prepared.
Nice. All right, now you said you guys like to go on trips during the summer months.
Yep.
I noticed you mentioned that you went to Atlanta. There was a SunTrust.
Yep.
Now, have you been to any other Major League Baseball games?
I have. I've been to the Nationals. I can't remember the name of their field.
I can't think of it either.
It's not Nationals Park because that'd be way too easy. But
I think it is. Actually.
Is it? Okay. I've been to the Nationals. I've seen a Nationals game. We've seen lots of Tigers games. Clearly, we've seen some Astros games because we're from Houston now. And a couple years ago, we went to an Oakland Athletics game. Do not go there. It is the worst field I've ever seen in my life. And we also saw San Francisco, Pac Bells? I don't know which one is San Francisco's field. They weren't playing a home game, but yeah,
AT&T.
Yeah, we went and saw that field as well. It's a nice field.
Yes, you actually go inside, or did you?
No, we don't have to. It's up on top of it. You're on top of a hill and look down into it.
Right.
And then we also have been to Busch Stadium a couple times on the way through.
Cardinals.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Nice. So, which would you say would probably be your favorite?
Nationals Park was the best.
Right.
There's millions of places to eat food, and it's kind of a whole experience. Once you're in the stadium, there's a bunch of bars kind of around the stadium, but you have to be in the stadium to get to them, so the outside public can't really get into it without paying for a ticket. So it kind of divides you from the rest of the world, and it kind of becomes more a part of the baseball game. Then there's not a bad seat in the place, because we had seats, I think on the third base side, midway up the first I guess flight of bleachers, we want to call it. But every seat kind of tilts towards home plate. They're wide. There's plenty of room for your knees in the seat in front of you. I mean, the views are really good.
Definitely designed well.
Yes, it really was. And the worst one is the Coliseum in Oakland. Holy cow!
Wow.
It is clearly a football field,
right?
Where they play baseball.
I honestly,
that's debatable if they play baseball because they're not very good. But
right, it's like you said, it's up to debate.
Yes.
I would have to say, even though it sounds like a good idea, the Tropicana down in St. Pete.
Yeah, I want to see that one.
It's hard to watch baseball in.
Because the experience, or there's so much going on, or just because it's hard to see the game?
No, you're indoors. I don't know. Baseball, you're supposed to be outdoors, and I understand in Florida, it's got to be, you got to do something because it's either raining or it's
right.
Too gosh darn hot.
That's the same way in Houston. We've been to Rangers ball field. I can't remember what it's called.
Arlington.
Yeah, and it is known as the hottest field in America, and they're not lying.
Oh wow.
We went there, and it was we always like to sit on the third base side, and we got tickets on the third base side, and luckily they were playing nobody any good, and the Rangers were having a down year, so we got tickets and looked at our seats, and they were in the sun, and we decided to go sit in the third tier of bleachers, the farthest seats up. Just because there was shade up there.
Right.
And it was still 95 degrees in the shade.
Nice. Yep.
I think, no, we haven't been anywhere else. We haven't been we drove around Philadelphia. We didn't go there. Oh, we've also been to Cleveland.
Okay.
It's not the Jake, Progressive Field or something, right?
Does Cleveland rock?
It does. It was a surprising city. We enjoyed Cleveland a lot.
Did you go to the Hall of Fame?
We did. We went there to see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
There you go.
It was last summer. We were up here for 6 weeks or something, and at about week 3, we had enough of our family and enough of doing other stuff. So we said, let's just go to Cleveland for a couple of days. And we went and caught a baseball game and went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And Cleveland has a bunch of fun little pockets all over the city that are like cultural pockets. Like we went to, like there's an Indian, a small like Italy, and there's like a Indian food place, and it's just a whole bunch of cool little pockets all over the city. It was really surprising how cool it was.
I'm trying to trick my wife into going to a Cleveland Indians game. And she's really into, there's this place called the Melt Bar, which basically is a grilled cheese.
Yeah, we went there.
Yeah.
They're kind of all over, I think, in other cities as well.
Yeah, you're right. They're all over the place, but there's one specifically at Progressive Field.
Oh, well, that's reason enough.
That's why I was trying to convince her to go to
4-hour drive. It's no big deal.
Yep.
Quick.
So she's like, yeah, that could be on our next bucket list. I'm like, okay. We still have to hit the Connecticut Tigers, too. We've seen every single level of the Tigers play, so except for the rookie Connecticut. So, but yeah, everything else we've seen. So,
I would love to go to like the Boston and see see Fenway, and then hit both New Yorks on your way down, and hit Pittsburgh on your way over, and Philadelphia, and just make a whole week trip out of it or something. But never works out that way.
That's definitely retirement goals right there.
Yeah, we went to the original Yankee Stadium for our honeymoon. That was fun.
Oh, that's right. You did go out to.
We went to New York City for our honeymoon, and the second night we were there, we went and saw them play the Mets, I believe, at Yankee Stadium, which was 2 years, I think, before they tore it down or changed it or something. It was fun to go to that. That's like walking into baseball history.
Right. Definitely. All right. Finally, this is my favorite part of the show. We're going to wrap it up with this. I always wrap it up with this. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this.
Nope.
It's a chance to see how well you know Jud. Normally, I would ask you questions about famous people named Jud, but I struggled to find anybody famous named Jud.
There's two at least.
Name the two.
Judd Nelson and Jud Bushler.
Okay, fair enough.
Judd Nelson from Breakfast Club, I believe, and Jud Bushler from the Bulls.
Okay, fair enough. That's the only two.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Okay. After that, I was scraping the bottom.
There's no more left, yeah.
There's no more.
There.
So, in honor of your dad.
Judd Heathcote. Coached these
I should have known
Spartans.
that. I'm embarrassed. I should just quit right now.
Yep.
But I apologize. Rest in peace, Judd. So I figured, like I said, I struggled to find anything more than three now. So in honor of your dad,
okay,
we will see how well you know Daryl.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you famous people named Daryl.
All right.
My brother Daryl, my other brother Daryl,
and my other brother Daryl.
Sorry.
All right.
All right. Number one. Name the Daryl. This Daryl was in a band with John Oates. Name the Daryl.
Daryl Hall.
Yep. You got a favorite Hall & Oates song?
What is all of them?
Exactly. I was going. I just listed two because I didn't want to sound too dorky.
I mean, Private Eyes.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Kisses on my list.
Yeah, of course.
I can't go for that, but
I can't either.
There we go. So all right, 1 for 1. All right, number 2. Name the Daryl. This Daryl played a mermaid in the movie Splash. Name the Daryl.
Daryl Hannah.
Yep. There we go.
That was a guess. I just assumed a lady and a Daryl Hannah.
There we go. All right, number 3. You're 2 for 2. All right, name this Daryl. Is a former SNL member. He played Sean Connery on Celebrity Jeopardy. He also did Al Gore and Bill Clinton.
Oh my gosh, I see his face.
Name the Daryl. Damn it, Trebek.
I know. I don't know. Daryl. You have to get into that one.
Daryl Hammond.
Hammond. There it is. Yep.
Daryl Hammond. All right. Not too bad. 2 for 3.
Yep.
Moving on. Number 4. Name the Daryl. This Daryl played in the Major League Baseball for the Mets, Dodgers, Giants, and Yankees.
Strawberry.
Yep. Name the Daryl Strawberry.
That was easy.
Yeah. Sorry. I almost wanted to say the California Penal League too, but
couple times.
All right. Number 5. Finally, name the Daryl. This Daryl played in the NBA, and his nickname was Chocolate Thunder.
Oh, Daryl Dawkins.
There you go.
Yeah.
I feel bad because I had that up on. I'm like, oh.
Well, I would have got that anyway.
Yeah, I know. I figured. I honestly thought he was the first high school kid to get drafted out of the high school to the NBA, but it was not.
Who was?
Moses Malone.
Really?
Yep. That was going to be my next guess, next question, if you could name him. So
I could not.
Yeah. So not too bad.
I would have said Sean Kemp.
Sean Kemp. Oh gosh. I actually in high school I had the Sean Kemp Kamikaze 2s. Those were my basketball shoes.
I had the Shaquille O'Neal Shaqnosis.
There we go.
In like 8th grade, I think.
There you go. Do you remember any other type of shoes that you had in high school?
I had them all. I had the Grant. That's my favorite part about being a basketball coach. Actually, is that my shoe game is pretty good. I got 3 different Jordan 11 colorways, and I'm a shoe guy now.
Oh, you become one of those?
Mm-hmm. But I had the Grant Hills. I had the Shaqs. I think the second year for the Grant Hills, not the first year.
Okay.
Then I had, I don't.
Did you ever have the pumps?
Yeah, I did. I had the CB34s.
Oh wow.
I had I'm trying to the Iverson, the Answer 3s. I had those.
Right. Did you know Spalding made a pump too?
I did, and my dad got me those once, and I told him they were trash. And he said, "Shut up and go away."
I owned a pair.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I did too. I didn't want them, but I was given it. They had the X that went across the front.
Right.
Yep. I had those.
I remember those. So
thank you, Myers.
Exactly. gotta love what you get. But yeah, I had that, and I ruined them so bad that I ended up just taking them apart just to see what the pump looked like inside. Yeah. I was disappointed.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, my next big shoe after that, I ended up getting the. Do you remember Dadas? Oh, they had Dada Supremes. It was all blue. They had a lot of crazy different colors, but I also had the T-Max.
I had the T-Max, yeah.
We played for Orlando.
Yep.
The blue ones.
Yep.
I see that they made a red one, and I was really upset that I couldn't find the red ones.
Yep.
So, yeah, shoe game.
That's my favorite part is all the shoes are coming back. All the retros are coming back out.
Yes.
That's fun.
That's a fun thing about NBA Live is you can play your guy and you can pick shoes, and that's kind of my favorite thing to do is pick the shoes. And get yelled at if you sign with Adidas and then you're wearing Nike.
And then wear Nikes, right.
Yeah, so it's realistic. So.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it. Before we go, is there any shout-outs or anything you want to talk about before we go?
Nope, that was a lot of fun.
That's good. I assumed we were going to have fun. I appreciate you for coming in. I apologize for having you wait around. There's a couple things that had to happen before we got involved in this, but I hope this isn't the only time we get a chance to hang out, so hopefully we can do some more things.
Definitely hang out some more.
All right. Thank you for joining me, buddy.
That was fun.
All right, number 21 in the books. Thanks again to Jud Stephens for joining me in the Baird Cave. It was awesome for having me be part of the show. Can you think of anyone else that might be a good fit? Please let me know. Please subscribe, follow, share, all those good fun things. Check out previous episodes too. You can still go back and catch up if you haven't yet. You can find the Baird Necessities on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean, and YouTube, of course. I keep forgetting to mention that one. Please follow me on Twitter at the Baird NEC and send me some email. Is there anything I'm missing? Let me know. Drop me an email at thebairdnec@gmail.com. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Tell everyone. I keep saying it. Let's get this downloads going. Join me next week. Same Baird time, same Baird channel. It's Coach Baird, and you've been listening to the Baird Necessities. Good night.